get to record.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, anyway, so welcome to the server meeting. For those of you that are new, for those of you that aren't new, you're probably getting sick of me saying the same thing every time we start. Anyway, for those that are new, every month we try to hold a server meeting. We don't try, we do. Every month we hold a server meeting, and we just basically, throughout the month, we keep a list of notes, things that we want to bring up, things that we want to talk about, or things that have, been going on. And at the end of the month, we go over that list of notes with you guys and tell you what's going on. And then after that, we pass the floor to the admin team, see if they have anything else they want to bring up. Then we pass the floor to the players, see if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, compliments, whatever the hell you guys want to throw at us, we take it. And when that's all said and done, I usually stream, I stream the whole time, but I usually stream a preview of the next map and other neat new things that we've been working on to show off that, the kind of stuff I got to show you actually in game, which I do have some new stuff to show you tonight. And of course I have actually two maps I could technically show you. Test 1 and Test 2 are both running a map right now that's coming up soon. So be sure you have the stream open at some point. But for the beginning part of the meeting, I'm just basically streaming Discord at this point. Throughout the meeting, if you think of stuff or you want to say something or you have a question about something I say or one of us says, just type it out in Notepad or something. And then when we get to the Q&A section of the meeting, that way you have it written down and you remember what it was you wanted to ask. We do not have time to just off the cuff answer things that go by in the chat as we're doing the meeting. For those that are in this channel, the voice channel here, if you look right where it says server meeting, the title of the staging channel, you'll see a little open chat bubble button just to the right of the words. If you click that, you'll see a chat window on the right hand side of your screen. That would be the text channel that everybody's in while we're talking. While we're running our mouths, you guys are more than welcome to spam, memes and funny shit and just make goofy comments and stuff like that. Once we get to the Q&A section, please slow that down, and we will actually enable slow mode during that Q&A, just because some people don't want to talk for the Q&A. They actually want to type their questions, and I don't want to miss them. But until we get to the Q&A, feel free to just talk shit and have fun. And just know that we won't be answering the stuff you're saying in that text channel until that point. There you go, Tybo. Get it, dog. You have to do anything special to get the rewards? Yes, you have to be in this meeting. And you have to make it through the meeting. You can't just show up and be like, boom, give me some free shit. That's why we give the rewards at the end of the meeting, because we want people to actually listen. We would not waste our time, away from our families and our jobs if the stuff we had to say was not important. And to be honest and kind of toot our own horn, you'd probably be hard pressed to find another Rust server out there that has a monthly server meeting with its entire admin team and all the players, to where everybody gets the floor and gets a chance to talk to each other. So we consider it pretty important, and something we're to keep doing. Anyway, like I said, everybody save your questions and stuff for the end. Type them down in Notepad, and then you can ask me later. So, moving on to our first topic. Oh, we just touched on this. Entity count. So this is the first time that we've ever hit what we keep calling code black. Go to general chat here and scroll up in general Discord. You'll see that I just posted a screenshot of it somewhere. Where did it go? Oh, I'm in the map testing channel. Dumbass. You can see I just posted a screenshot of it right there. Entity count on Outbreak is 277,000 right now. Just for those that don't know a lot about what goes on behind the scenes, our custom maps, and we cap them at 50,000 entities when we make them. And when I say entities, I mean everything. Every pebble, every mushroom, every structure, hell, even, the old custom build spot signs before we switched over to the new method of doing it, which we did switch so that we could lower entity counts. But the old custom build spot signs, those right there were 347 entities. Just one sign. 340. That's how, you'd be surprised how many entities go into things. So we switched it to that new version where we just paste the sign on there, and that one's only like 8 entities. So it's a big difference. Anyway, 80% of our map work is actually trying to shave off entities so that the servers don't crash. That's what giant entity counts will do. Giant entity counts will crash your server. And it's nothing to do with our box, nothing to do with the power of the server, or the processing power, or the RAM, or anything. It's just to do with the actual software, Rust, that runs on the server can't handle that many fucking entities at once. It's actually the Unity physics engine, technically, that can't handle all those entities. So we don't do this to be pains in the asses. We don't do this because we're jerks or we want to control you all. We do this because we don't want to deal with the backlash of a server crash, which would be caused by you guys making too many entities. Like I said, 80% of our map work is just spent on trying to lower entity counts on the map, because we know that players aren't going to control their builds, so we try to do it on our end for them by lowering the entity count of the maps. So we cap our maps at 50,000 entities. For comparison, a vanilla map of the same size usually has 14,000 entities, maybe 16,000, somewhere in that range though, around 14 to 16,000 entities on a vanilla proc gen map. Again, our maps, we have to cap them at 50,000 entities, which is not a fucking easy task. And honestly, the one you're on right now, Purgatory, is 52, I think. So we actually went over our limit on that one a little bit. But again, even at 50, that's 4 times the entities of a proc gen map. So you got to think about that just from the get-go. Just the moment you wipe a server and log in fresh, we already have 4 proc gen maps worth of entities on one map. That's before you guys put down a single fucking thing. Then look at something like Outbreak. Outbreak average, and we average at Zombieland about 1,300 people per week on our servers. That is a hard stat. That's not just a made up number. I think the lowest we've had in a year is maybe about 1,000 in a week, but we average anywhere from 1,000 to 1,300 in a week. All those people slapping down entities everywhere. Then you have 80 plugins that are interacting with all those entities constantly, thousands of times a second. And then the fact that as a PvE server and you can't blow up entities. I don't know why I'm still sitting on this screen. Sorry about that. Which is, if you can't blow up the entity, that means they're not going to ever get low. Because a lot of people are like, well, I played on Rustify and they have 250 players in but it's a proc gen map, so it's already a third or a fourth of the entities. Then it's PvP, so people are blowing shit up constantly, so the entities are going away. And they probably don't have skills and enchantments and all these other things that let you guys farm ridiculous amounts of resources to build these giant castle bases that are unneeded. The list just goes on and on. The point being is we really, really, really need you guys to control your deployables and your builds, because this is insane that we are almost to 1/3 of a million. By the time this wipe is over, we'll probably be at 1/3 of a million on Outbreak. That is insane. I just don't know what else to say on that. People think we're jerks when we fly around and we tell people like, hey, you can't have 37 flashing blue lights in your house and 74 rugs and 96 planters. And yes, those are like real world examples. They think we're mean and stuff. And it's like, you don't understand. We're just trying to make it so you don't crash the server. Because when the server crashes, because you guys have too many entities out there and there's a physics entity or whatever it's called, physics engine Unity crash. I forgot what the fuck it's called. But when that happens, you guys are the ones losing stuff because it's going to roll back. Servers don't save instantly. They save like every 10 to 15 minutes. I think we have ours set to 10. So anything that happens between the last save and now is lost. So if a server crash happens because you guys overloaded it with entities, y'all are the ones that are going to lose stuff, not us. We're going to lose a little bit of time because we do log in and try to help save players from dying and stuff. But other than that, we do not spawn stuff back in from a server crash. Whatever you lose is just gone. So you might want to get them entities under control. I see a lot of comments going by. If you have any questions, again, just write them down during the Q&A. You're more than welcome to bring up a topic that I already discussed and ask me some questions about it. Minty Marsupial, what is up, dog? That's an old school player right there. He's been around for years. Anyway, so get your entities under control, please. Also, people on Outbreak right now, if you have extra shit that you don't need at your base, please delete it. Mailboxes, graveyard fences, whatever it is that you don't have to have, please delete it. Not counting the haunted house competition that's going on. You guys leave your stuff up. Don't worry. We want that stuff there. We're actually going to grant players access to that starting tonight. But yeah, if you guys have bases out there in the regular world that's not part of the Halloween competition, please delete your extra shit. Like, please, I'm begging you. You're going to regret it when you have a server crash and you lose a bunch of shit. So, yeah, imagine if there was a sign with the rules about deployable and build limits all over the place. Anyway, moving on to the next note. The good news is, y'all, there are not a lot of notes tonight. I think we got like 6. That's nothing. There's some meetings we have 3 pages. So it's gonna be an easy fucking night. Let's see. Next note. Same note as last meeting. Can we all be a little nicer? Yeah. Again, I did this last meeting. I honestly should have just relinked that, but I don't know what's going on lately, man. But we got like a handful of people that are just being so mean to anyone that just. It almost feels like there's like a table in the lunchroom of the cool kids, and that anyone else that comes and tries to sit down or even comes in there to get a lunch, they just all just picking on them and stuff. Like, y'all quit bullying people, man. We got a lot of there's a ton of new players right now coming in here. I mean, hell, Juice, he's our new player champion. He'll tell you there's a ton of new players right now. Be nice to each other, though. I mean, a lot of it's mostly in Discord. Some of it's in chatting game. But just be nice. Like, you guys were all new at some point. You guys all asked stupid-ass questions at some point. Hey, how do I get to town? Like, that may seem dumb to you, but when you're a new player logging into our server is way fucking different than all the other ones out there. Obviously, it's way different than normal servers, and it's way different than other PvE servers because we don't just hand everything to you like and beg you for your money in return. We actually make you work for your shit and fight for your shit and die and lose shit. It's way different here. So, I mean, you guys try to have some understanding. You were all new at one point, and you all asked dumbass questions at one point, and now that you know what's going on, I feel like we're treating the new people like they're stupid or something, and that's not really fair. So can you please, everybody just lighten up on each other? Again, it just feels like a little clique mentality going on. Don't get me wrong, 90% of our community is still as great as they've always been to everybody. But there's like this little click thing going on right now where they're just bashing new people. So please, slow it down, lighten up a little bit, y'all. We're all family here. We're all part of the same servers. All right, moving on. This one might get wordy. I'm going to bring up a web page. Yeah, I'm going to read from this one. You guys ain't going to like this. The title of this, though, is Raid Bases Are Not For Profit. They are content. This is a video game, not a stock market. And now I'm going to read you a blurb. Oops. Wrong tab. There's the blurb I'm looking for. If anybody'd like to follow along, I'm going to link this in chat. So, the reason I'm reading this instead of just linking it is because nobody ever wants to read what I type. So I'm going to read it myself. I may shorten it a little bit because it's pretty long. So anyway, most players complain in global chat when they don't profit, and they say things that can be misleading to others, especially new people. We've taken tons of player feedback throughout our 5 years, as well as player feedback during the development we are about to explain. Here we'll explain to you, so basically we're going to explain the raid-based loot tables and stuff like that. At the very top it says, the short answer is luck and efficiency. We handcrafted our raids with specific boom costs in mind. We take the most direct and efficient route and then take a not so efficient route, and then we take the boom cost of both of those routes, we find the median between them, and we base the loot tables and boom costs are configured to basically provide a 1/3 chance of profit, 1/3 chance of breaking even, or a 1/3 chance of not profiting. Nightmare bases are not included in this, and they are meant to be a punishment only. Honestly, I'm not going to read this whole damn thing, but just understand that every single base that we have up to expert has been handcrafted, just like I just read, to where we rated it ourselves and calculated the boom cost the most efficient way we could, you know, like a Chad professional raider, and we rated it once more as a newbie, just trying to figure out your way through the base. And we found the middle ground between those two styles, and that's the boom cost we calculate. Are they all going to be exactly the same? Hell no. You're going to find easies or mediums or whatever that are a little bit harder than the other ones. You're going to find some that are a little easier than the other ones. And you're going to find people that love to just try to map out the raid bases and drill straight to the TC just to get the quick completion. Whatever. That's cheesy to me, but hey, you do your thing. That's not my business. The point being is, 1/3 of the time you're meant to profit. 1/3 of the time you're meant to break even, and 1/3 of the time you're not meant to profit. Now, if that seems off base to you, and if you're sitting there going, well, T, that doesn't feel like 1/3 to me, there's 2 factors you have to think about. Number 1, RNG. A lot of people don't understand what RNG means. A lot of people think, let's say you have a 50% chance of something, right? A lot of people think 50% chance means that 50% of the time it's going to happen. People think, well, you said it's a 50% chance. I did it 10 times, so technically it should have happened 5 times. No. With a 50% chance, you could do something 1,000 times and it still never happens. Period. That's just how RNG works. That's how probability works. I don't know if any of you have ever taken any statistics classes or anything like that. That's how real percentages work. There's never a guarantee of that. So while I say a third, and a third, it's still up in the air though, because it's still a dice roll on the loot. The other factor you need to take into account is the fact that you may not be raiding it the most efficiently. We've had people come in here, I got 2,000 hours in Rust. I'm good. Okay, whatever. Doesn't mean you're a perfect raider. I've got, I think, let me open up Steam. So if you take both of my Rusts, I've got about 26,000 hours in Rust. I can tell you right now, I could not raid a single tier of our raid bases and come out with a profit. Right now, there's no way. I couldn't even raid an easy correctly. I just suck at fucking raiding. I really do. I don't know the most efficient ways to do it. I don't know the best paths to take. And I've got 26,000 hours in this game. So I don't care how many hours you got or how great of a raider you think you are. If you keep raiding over and over and over and over and over again, and you never even come close to getting your stuff back, not even remotely close to even breaking even, then you're just not raiding correctly. I'm sorry to sound like a dick, but that's just all there is to it. I've seen, like Hydro, I've seen people, just trying to foundation wipe raid bases. I didn't profit off of that. Well, of course you didn't. You just wasted a bunch of shit. I've seen people throwing C4 on easies. Easies can be prim raidable. You do not have to use any kind of explosives on an easy base, period. So again, I honestly think our raid bases are too profitable right now. So I guess the basic topic here is just understand they're not there for profit. They're there to be entertainment and content. Before we had raid bases, players would play, and they build up all this boom and all this gear and all this stuff. And half of them don't like PvP day. That's why they're on a PvP server or PvE server. They don't like the PvP. So at the end of the wipe, they're like, well, fuck, what do we do now? Long before any raid base plugins, we started coming up with our own way to make raidable bases. I won't tell that story again. I told it at the last meeting, but we did that for the purpose of, hey, you guys want a place to spend all your boom and all the stuff you've farmed throughout the wipe. We're going to provide that for you. That's all they were. I don't know where the divide came in, where raid bases were suddenly thought of as like, hey, these are loot containers. No, they're not. They're something for you to spend your time and your materials to do. That's it.
Same goes for Bradley and Helly.
Same goes for Bradley and Helly. They are not there to be your loot pinatas. They're there because you say, well, I farmed up all this stuff. I can't raid my neighbors because this is a PvE server. What am I supposed to do with all these things I've made? Go take them to a raid base or go take them to a Bradley or a Helly and fight it. That's what they're there for. Same thing with some of our, big content like nightmare bases or some of the really hard custom monuments. People are like, I can't complete this. That's the whole point. The whole point is for you to have some way to get rid of and lose all your shit. Because if you don't, it's just going to get deleted anyway at the end of the wipe. So raid bases and some of the harder content are literally there for entertainment purposes, for teaching purposes. You learn how to raid better and stuff like that. And just to have fun. They're not there to be a profit. Yes, they will profit, about a third of the time. Yes, you'll break even about a third of the time. But ultimately, that should never be on your mind at all. They are not for that reason. They're content. They're there to use the stuff you've made. Period. And the third feature of that would be, you got to take everything. We specifically designed these raid-based loot tables with the mentality of, you can take stuff from the raid base and grind it down. You can take, you can empty the shotgun traps and grind that shit down. You gotta think outside the box. You're not going to go into a raid base and just find a giant box full of fucking rockets and C4. That's not how they're meant to be. They were never meant to be that way. They're meant to be challenging. They're meant to be random. They're meant to be well thought out. Some of them have themes and stuff. Some of them have different, design tricks. Just, again, guys, they're content. They're not loot pinatas. I see tons of comments going by in chat and in my stream, so just save them for the Q&A at the end. I promise I'll get to all of them. Matter of fact, we're already halfway through our fucking notes. And we've already covered pretty much the long ones already. Trigger, this next one's yours if you want it. The one you entered.
Yeah, give me one sec. So yeah, we love the tickets that you guys put in. This is definitely going to be a ticket issue. The problem we get is when somebody puts in a ticket and then it takes us a couple minutes to get to it. We read it over, we check it out, we load the info we need to, then we say hi to you on the ticket, and we get crickets. Or we help you with whatever you requested, and we ask you, do you need anything else from us? And nothing. We don't like closing it down unless we get a response from you to know that that was the only thing you needed. We've taken care of everything you needed at the time. We can close the ticket out and be done. If you don't answer, it feels like you're just ignoring us for the sake of ignoring us. So if you put in a ticket, be prepared to respond.
Cool. Nice and easy. Yeah, if you're gonna put a ticket in, stick around, please, so we can talk to you. We don't want to just leave it open the whole time. All right, moving on to the next one. Oh, this ought to be a fun one. Open dialogue with the players and the admins about suggestions and changes and blah blah blah. So this part of it, yes, will be about the suggestions category, but believe it or not, that's not what this note was in there for. You guys, I think this note came about. There was somebody one day just making a comment. I can't stand this comment too, and I've had the comment made before. I can't stand this comment because it's so far off base. It's now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the player that made the comment, whoever it was, didn't have ground to stand on when they said it. Because if I pull myself out of my perspective and go look at it from that person's shoes, I can understand where they're coming from. So I'm not mad at the person, but this comment drives me absolutely insane because it's so far from the truth that it's ridiculous. Matter of fact, this meeting alone should tell you how far from the truth this comment is. But the comment was something about, like, well, we're scared to speak our mind or give our thoughts or ideas or feedback on stuff. Well, what are you scared of? Like, what am I going to do? Beat you up? I'm not even a big dude, even if you did live near me. And on top of that, have you guys seen some of the stuff that players have gotten away with and not been banned for? Like, do I need to pull out, what was his name? Beefy? Do I need to pull out his profile notes over the years? I would be scrolling for a long time all the shit he's done to our players and our admin team, and he still didn't get banned for the longest time. So again, I understand what the player meant, and I'm not mad at him for making that comment, but what irritates me the most about it is so far from the truth. It is so far from the truth. If you guys understood how much that we take, how much abuse we take really back here, speaking your mind about ideas and suggestions and thoughts about how we configure things or set things up with the server, that is the least offensive thing you can do. I promise you that. Where I think the confusion comes in is this. Too many people, and this is in the real world, by the way, this isn't just here. Too many people just bitch, and they think that is giving constructive feedback or solutions. That's not. I tell my children, the stuff I'm doing with my mayor campaign right now, I tell everybody, don't come to me with a problem unless you're also coming to me with solutions to it. Because coming to me and just bitching about something, what does that do? That doesn't accomplish anything but honestly making both parties upset, because then it's going to upset the people you're bitching at, and then they're going to get mad, and then that's going to upset you, and then there's nothing positive comes out of that. And it's not even about being a dick to the admins, man. Honestly, I'm on a soapbox here. This is in real life too, and just dealing with everything in life, man. Complaining without any kind of actual ideas and solutions to go along with your complaint does not accomplish anything. And that's the problem I'm having here. I think that's where the disconnect is, and why this player said what he said is I think he sees our responses to the bad version of feedback that I'm discussing right now and thinks that, well, man, every time somebody says something to them, they just get all antsy and snippy with the person. Yeah, but take a step back for a second, put yourself in our shoes, and see what the person we're getting snippy with did. Did they give us any better ideas? Did they give us any hardcore data as to what backs up their thought or their opinion on something? No, they just bitch about it. I'm trying to think of a recent change, anything. I don't want to bring the RP one into this because that was such a major discussion. I mean, it took months, so that's not a good example. But just with any change, it's just like, if you're going to come at us and say, oh my God, why did you change that? Or why did you configure it that way or do this? Okay, well, can you have some reasonings and some actual data that back it up? And then on top of that, have a better solution. Because as you guys well know, if we change something or do something, oh, my phone never stops. If we change something or do something, it's for a reason. We don't ever just do it. Like I assure you, T does not lay in bed at night going, damn, how could I change the configuration tomorrow to piss people off? Let me think about this. No, I don't do that. What happens is somebody does something or something breaks or something happens or somebody exploits something and we're like, fuck, we got to fix that. So we do. And we do it with the best, the best ideas we can come up with. And what's not helpful is people just bitching about it. Like, oh, this sucks, this is bullshit. I'm not playing here anymore if that's how it's going to be. Well, do you have a better idea? Because you're not telling it to me. Like, come at me with some data. Come at me with some actual data. And again, it's only 5% of the people that do that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of clustering everybody into one group here. But again, it was more of just and that player's in here right now. I know he is. I saw him. When that player made that comment, to me, it's hurtful as fuck. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like the most transparent, open person in the world. I literally sit here, once a month for 5 hours, letting you guys just come at me with all the suggestions and complaints and ideas you have. And then, I to get told that, like, oh, we're scared to even say anything to you. Like, why? I don't do anything wrong to you. I've never banned anybody for giving me a suggestion or an idea. Never banned anybody for telling me they don't like what we did. But again, the point being is, come at me with some better ideas. If you don't like what we did, hey, we're only human. I have no experience in this shit until I started it. Come at me with some data. I'm very open to listening. I think, the admin team, just during our staff meeting, I made a change to something, ironically, that they being the admin team, asked me to make happen like a year ago, and it took me that long to get it to happen. And when I made the change, they actually told me during the meeting just now that they hated it and they wanted it back the old way. Boom, we switched it back. Nice and simple, right? But when they did it, they didn't just bitch about it. T, we don't like this. It's bullshit. No, they're like, hey, actually, this is why we think it might be better back at the old way. And they gave me point after point after point of why it was better the old way. And I was like, damn, you're actually right. And we switched it instantly. So that's all I'm asking, man. Y'all come at me with some data and some good ideas. Crying and bitching and complaining is not gonna solve anything. All right. And the other half of that was the suggestions channel. Holy shit. Y'all got to slow down. Number one, I don't know how hard it is to understand that I am not adding new plugins. And number two, you really got to do some research first to see if things are even possible. Like, I don't even mind you asking me if you're like, oh, it'd be really cool if we could do this. Hey, T, can you at least give me a link to the plugin we use for /home so I can at least do some research and see if it's possible? Or I can ask the developer to add this. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I will gladly tell you, give you a link to one of our plugins so you can go contact. Because you got to remember, for the majority of our plugins, I mean, all of them technically, you come at me with something and the plugin doesn't do that. And you're like, well, you should make it happen. Okay, well, I'll hit the developer up and see what he says. Yes, we have the most amazing Rust developer in the world on our staff. But we do pay him, and we pay him pretty well. And I'm not going to just sit here. Well, not only that, but he's so fucking busy. Half the reason I pay him so well is to cut in line, for lack of better terms, because I know how busy he is. I'm like, well, if I pay him a little extra, maybe we can get ours done quicker. But so I'm not going to fucking waste. It's not even mine. It's y'all's money. I'm not going to waste y'all's money on stupid shit. And I'm not saying your suggestions are stupid. I just mean on stuff that's not worth that much fucking money. Change wise, again, what if you just wanted some, hey, could you make /home automatically wake us up when we teleport home? Something that minor. I'm not going to waste money paying Nivix to do that when you can just go suggest that to the guy who made the plugin in the first place and let him do it. You get what I'm saying? So with your suggestions, you got to slow it down a little bit, do some research, figure out how it can be done. And if it can be done that way, you need to just go suggest it to the plugin developers yourself. You guys are no different than I am when it comes to that. I don't have any pull over these plugin developers that you guys wouldn't have either. Like, I can't just go knocking on Killyu's door. He makes a lot of our plugins. He makes a lot of everybody's plugins. I can't just go knock on his door and tell him to do something because I want him to do it. I have to suggest the things to him just like you guys would. So it's no different. And the rest of that suggestion stuff, you got to slow down the talks too. There's a handful of y'all that just going fucking nuts in the suggestions channel, and honestly, it's harming getting any suggestions implemented, because I get in there and I start seeing this wall of text. I start reading and it's just banner, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I got to get back to work, and I just don't finish reading it, and the suggestion never gets done because I never even had a chance to even see where it led to, because you guys just flood the damn channels so much. It really does. What Tim just said, it makes it fucking useless. And I hate to sound like, oh, my time's too important for that, but I just don't have time to be going through all that back and forth shit to see if the suggestion was even worth it in the first place. So please slow all that stuff down. It's getting way out of hand, and there's so many suggestions that are obviously not reading the suggestion guidelines that are in that channel, that they're just so far off base. So also, one last thing with suggestions, keep in mind, we make these servers for a wide variety of play styles, all the way down from just a little berry farmer, lady that, just wants to get online every couple hours here and there and play some Rust and not do anything major, doesn't even like shooting NPCs, all the way from that type of player all the way up to like the most hardcore, fucking raid nightmares back to back, Chad player we have. We have to make content for all those people. So remember that when you make a suggestion, it can't be catered to you. We get a lot of those suggestions. Well, I want it to be this way. Well, that's fine, but that, you're not the only person here. There's thousands of people here every month, and we have to cater to all of them. So please keep that in mind. Moving on. Only got a couple left, y'all. We're almost done. Woohoo! Go over the upcoming update log. All right, let me switch that. I don't even have that many things in here either, so I think there's only 2 items in there. Let me see, where the fuck is... I have a special channel where I write down my notes for the update log for Force Wipe here. All right, so for Force Wipe, there's only 2 things right here. Fixed burst modules dropping from the component luck skills. That Facepunch added that after I had already configured the plugin. Those are not supposed to be dropping when you have the component luck skill. So that has been fixed for Force Wipe. And then the other thing on Force Wipe is increased maximum clan members from 10 to 16. So those are the 2 things in the upcoming update log. Everybody keeps typing to me in chat. Again, I don't read this until the end of the meeting. You can do the Q&A stuff and tell me what you want to tell me during that. All right, moving on to the next note. Modular cars in /license. So the good news is this is pretty much the last topic of the entire note section here. So we're at a crossroads here. I almost just put this in as a town hall discussion. Me and the admins have been discussing this behind closed doors, and we've kind of voted our votes on what we think the best route would be. But now I want y'all's input too. So first of all, let me tell you why it's a discussion. There's 2 prongs to this. Number 1 is I don't like the fact, actually there's 3 prongs to this technically. Number 1, I don't like the fact that people can, I call it a mobile base, let's face it. The camper module with the storage module, all this, it's a fucking mobile base at this point. I don't like the fact that people can put a mobile base on like an oil rig and shit like that. I honestly don't even like the fact that they can stick it outside of a monument, honestly, it's whatever. But the oil rig is a major concern. The fact that you can just spawn a base on the oil rig is fucking ridiculous. Let's face it. There's not a person in this world that should not agree that that's fucking ridiculous. Yes, you can spawn them on oil rig. People are literally using /recall to pull their base, their mobile, their what do you call it, camper, which is technically a mobile base. They're able to just pull their base onto an oil rig. So if they die, they can just respawn right there. If they get too much loot, they can stick it in their little camper module thing. That's just fucking insane to me. That is so much a cheat. It's just ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on tugs, Brute. And I fucking hate them things so much. Anyway, but at least they're a vanilla part of the game. Being able to drag a camper across the map to yourself was never part of the game. And on top of that, being able to instantly spawn one with full modules and full high-qual parts inside of it is also not part of the game. So, the other part, which I'm not gonna totally ream a new asshole, because technically this would still be possible on the mainland, but I'm also a huge hater of campers outside of raid bases. Again, Cool. Even if I make some changes, you'll still be able to drive one to a raid base, right? Yeah, nothing I can do to stop you on that. But the fact that people can literally just drag their base to a raid bubble and set it outside, use it for cover so the turrets don't hit them, then use it to respawn if they die, then use it to store the loot in if they get too much loot. That is fucking ridiculous. That is the most cheese-ass exploiting thing in the world. And again, I know I can't really gig you on it because technically you could do it, even with vanilla modular cars, right? You could just take it home, put a camper on it, drive it to a raid or whatever. So I can't totally rip a new asshole on that topic because, like I said, it's technically part of vanilla too. But again, the fact of the matter is that you can just instantly spawn one in if you're a veteran, full high qual parts, full everything, and you can just drag it to you. Like you can go to a raid and you can type /recall and your car's whoop, and you got a base right there. That's just fucking insane to me. So that's where this is stemming from. The third factor would be, the same thing with, just how easy it is to get. That's a lot of power to just be able to instantly do. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to get hated on for saying that, but it is. That's a lot of power to just be handed instantly, without having to go find the parts, without having to go find the modules, without having to go find, get a car lift set up at your base. And that's a lot of power just to snap your fingers and have right there. So that's why this is a discussion in the first place. Now that you guys got the real reason why this is even being talked about in the first place. The 3 solutions we offered, admins correct me if I'm wrong because I'm just doing this off of memory. I don't have this pulled up in front of me. The 3 solutions, number 1 was do what I just did, leave it like it is, what I just did, which is all I did was just set a maximum distance that you can /recall the modular cars. And again, the reasoning being is basically just so that if you're trying to drag it, to a raid base or something, well, you better get in that bitch and drive it at least. And if you're trying to cross an ocean onto an island with it for a raid base, you technically can't really do that anymore. And the main reason, you can't get it on oil rig, period, now. So that kind of killed a couple birds with with the one stone there. Is you can't get it on oil rig. You technically can't get it to some of the raid bases. Obviously, the ones on the mainland you can still get it to. And it makes it harder to, it just makes it harder to abuse. I guess that makes sense. Like, like you go to run a monument, if you could /recall your camper all the way to that monument, you're more prone to do it. But if you think to yourself, oh, this is a bitch, now that T made that change, I'm gonna have to drive it all the way here. Maybe you'll be discouraged from doing it, and that's a win-win for me. So that was option number 1. Option number 2, and oh, by the way, and there was a huge problem with the fact that people keep leaving them everywhere, which when they leave them everywhere, that blocks more raid bases from spawning. So every day, our admin team has to fly around the map and delete just camper after camper after camper. Matter of fact, every time I even see a screenshot, every raid base in the background has got a camper sitting outside of it. It never fails. So, and we have to go back and delete those because people just leave them laying around. The other option, so that was option 1, do what I already did. Option number 2, again, admin team, correct me if I'm wrong here. Option number 2 was just get rid of them in the /license plugin, but set their natural spawn rates back to vanilla. Like right now, their natural spawning of modular cars is turned way, way down because people can just spawn their fucking own. So option number 2 was take modular cars just out of the /license plugin, but increase their spawn rate back to vanilla spawns. Is that correct, admins? That was option number 2, right?
That was one of the options. Yep.
I don't remember option number 3. Do I have to go back and look? Damn it.
Yeah, we talked about a bunch of options, little changes to
No,
each
but
option.
I put 3 in the actual suggestion channel. Actually put physically 3. Like, here's your 3 options, y'all. Maybe one of these damn suggestion channel spammers remembers. Some of y'all were all over that topic, so maybe you guys remember what option number 3 was. I don't remember. Damn it, I'm scrolling around looking for the suggestion channel. I can't even find it because I purposely ignore that damn channel now. Oh, that's right. Revert it back to before I made the change, but get rid of raid islands completely. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, that's not really a fucking option. If I got rid of raid base islands, basically that was the fine. You guys want to be this way? I'll just punish the players. That's what that option really is. Because if we reverted it back to letting you just recall your modular camper anywhere on the map you wanted to and got rid of raid islands, you would have no raid bases anymore. because at least on Outbreak, Infection, Utopia, and Terminus is probably okay. But on Outbreak, you would not see any more raid bases anymore after like the 3rd or 4th day of wipe, because you guys would fill every single nook and cranny of land and there'd be nowhere left for them to spawn. So that's what that option was about. But honestly, let's just face it, that's not really an option at this point, because that's just going to cause us more grief than it would solve. So I'd love to get y'all's feedback during the Q&A. I'm probably going to turn this into a town hall discussion or something for you guys to discuss. But I personally, not that I'm trying to sway votes, the server owner said this, but I'm just going to be blunt with you guys. I personally want option number 2. I think that's the best solution. Take them out of the license plug-in completely. There's tons of other vehicles. You got other types of cars. The sedan is much better. If it wasn't for the camper, the fact that you can exploit the camper and have it everywhere, if it wasn't for that, nobody would even care about modular cars. Let's face it, because the sedan is much better. The sedan can drive underwater. It doesn't take any fuel. It fucking is a bitch to destroy. It doesn't get blown up and stuff. Like it's a much better vehicle. It doesn't take a lift, stuff like that. So you got mini copters, you got horses, you got turbo, horses, you got turbo mini copters, you got all kinds of shit. So you don't really need the modular cars. And again, with option 2, I would be increasing the spawn rate back to vanilla, which means they'd be all over the fucking roads like they always have, like they should be. So you guys will still have tons of fucking modular cars. You just wouldn't be able to fucking snap your fingers and pop one out of your ass all of a sudden. Yeah, and I made the snowmobiles able to be driven on any land, and they have storage on them too. So there's all kinds of other options. I am 100% for option number 2 though, and it also would be less impactful on the server. Every single type of /license vehicle takes some processing power, because the server has to, the plugin has to monitor the fact that, that player, that's not their vehicle. They're not allowed to use that. And, that player, he's on the same team as that player, so he can use it. So there's a lot of processing power that goes into those /license vehicles. They're not just, they're not just normal vanilla vehicles. They actually do get tracked by a plugin. So that does take some power. Anyway, so just know that we'll be putting that up for discussion. Pretty much option 1 and 2, which would be option 1 would be leave it like it is. Option 2 would be throw my fucking phone out the window and take modular cars off the license plugin. All right, I rambled too much on that topic. Let's move on. Cool. All right, these last 2 topics are just little mini announcements, so that's pretty much it. The first little mini announcement is we are still hiring staff. Interviewed a guy today. I was supposed to have interviewed a guy yesterday. That was a no-show though, but I did interview one today. We are still taking apps. We do have, I think, another app that I will be messaging here shortly. I'm pretty sure you know who you are, because I think Trigger already talked to you some. I'll be trying to set up a time to talk to them. But that's still just 2 that I've interviewed or will be interviewing. We are still taking them. They don't all get accepted. I mean, just know that's what it is. And even when you do put your app in, sometimes we watch. I mean, not sometimes, we always watch, but sometimes we watch for up to a month. I mean, you never fucking know how long we're going to be watching. And it's not because we're creepy we are creepy, but it's not because we're trying to be creepy or weird. It's just, we want to see how you interact with the players. We want to see how you interact with, how you play the game. Are you trying to exploit things all the time, or are you just fucking playing the game, having fun? We want to see how you treat others, how you act in Discord, all that kind of good stuff. We've actually had some apps recently. We had one recently that had all yes votes from the whole fucking team. And then we started watching the player, and sure enough, man, they were in chat acting like an ass. They were in Discord acting like an ass. And we were like, damn it, man, that would have too bad, because they were 100% yes votes from all the team. And they ended up getting turned down for that. But ultimately, I know I say the exact same phrase every single time I do this. It's never personal. I use the same example every time. Pooh Water, as you guys all know, is one of my favorite players around. He's been here for many, many years, and he's just fucking hilarious. I would not make him an admin if my life depended on it. Period. He would be a shitty admin. Again, great dude. I absolutely love him. So, and the reason I keep throwing his name out there and throwing him under the bus as an example is because you just gotta, like, Rocket Rebel's another good example. I'm not gonna lie. Rocket, I mean, how long, man? Me and you've been gaming together outside of Zombieland together, dude. Like, we're pretty tight. I think Rocket would probably make a shitty admin too, though, because man, he got a little temper on his ass. You gotta watch out for that shit. So, again, man, it's never anything personal. Those two people I just threw under the bus, I like both of them a lot, literally a lot. I would let either one of them come to my house in real life and hang out with me, but it's not always the best fit for an admin. Honestly, I wouldn't make my wife an admin either. She'd ban every damn one of you. So if you put an app in and it doesn't go through, please don't take it personally and quit. You'd be surprised at 50% of our apps that don't get approved and they don't get to become staff. They usually just quit the server after that. I'm like, why would you quit? Like, it's nothing personal. It's nothing to get upset about. Trust me, you probably don't want the job anyway. I did see a couple people scroll by. Like, what does it take, or what does it blah? So the way you apply is in the support bot channel. We have a support ticket type called staff application. You just fill that shit out to the best of your ability. Again, don't take it personally. We probably only even respond to maybe 20% of them. They're just, some people just don't, it's not exact what we're looking for type stuff. Or some of them will watch for a while and they still don't fit in. And some of them, believe it or not, a lot of times you won't make it because you don't like some of the restrictions. The first part, if we do contact you, though, the interview process really is just me telling you all the negative things about being an admin to see if you still want to do it. Minty Marsupial kind of reminded me of that in chat just now. He was an admin of ours back in the day. He knows it's not all fucking bells and whistles, I promise you. And there's a lot of restrictions on what you can do as an admin. So some people, Minty would be a good example. Some people get in there and they're like, man, I miss just being able to do what I wanted with people and have fun and help people and be generous and give people free stuff, and all. You can't do all that shit as an admin. So some people just don't like that fact that their hands are tied. Believe it or not, you get to help people less as an admin than you would as a player, because we have a lot of strict policies on that kind of stuff, because we don't want people thinking that we're up to no good over here. So put your app in. Again, we're always accepting apps for that. So let me know. We try to run around 15 to 20, and we have for many years. And right now we are deathly low on admins, deathly low. So hey, I'm a Southerner too. So we're definitely we're definitely accepting apps right now. And the final little topic mini announcement is server transfers. We are still giving away free vet gold for an entire month and free plus 10 skill points to anyone who transfers off of Outbreak to either Infection or Utopia. No, there are not other options. I always get people, well, can I go from Utopia to no? Or can I go from Infect? No. From Outbreak to either Infection or Utopia, we are giving you, if you put in a server transfer, we're giving you a free month of vet gold and 10 skill points. So that's like a $30 value in our online store. The reason we're doing that, we're trying to spread the population out. For those new players that are in the channel right now, there's no difference between Outbreak and Infection, period. Same fucking server to the T, except Infection doesn't have queues, whereas every wipe, Outbreak will have a full queue for days. I mean, and when I say full queue, I mean hours of standing in queue for days. Infection does not hit queues. Infection usually hits about 80 so people on wipe days, and then it usually dwindles down to around 50, 60 for the rest of the wipe. Obviously, at the end of the wipe state, everybody gets lower, especially at a force wipe. And for those of you that don't know a lot about how Rust cycles go, the wipe leading up to a force wipe, you can find servers empty. I mean, that's just how it is. By the end of the force wipe, people are like, oh, let's hurry up and get to the next one. But yeah, they're the same server, Infection and Outbreak, no difference at all, except for the player counts. And even then, Infection has a shit ton of players, just not to the point where there's big ass queues. And honestly, a lot of our hardcore veteran, real loyal players went over to Outbreak because, let's face it, new players, when they join a Rust server, the first thing they look for is the most full one they can find. So all the new players come to Outbreak. And again, let's face it, that's usually where you find the trolls and the people that aren't actually going to stick around. They're just coming to cause problems and be obnoxious. So a lot of the veteran players transferred to Infection a long time ago to kind of get away from all the new players. Again, nothing against new players, but with new people comes a lot of trolls too. So those that transfer to Infection, there's actually a really, really big group of really nice fucking people over on Infection, man. There's a lot of generous people. And by the way, I'm not throwing Utopia under the bus either. Same concept there, but they got a little different configuration. That's why I haven't mentioned them yet. But yeah, like EXE right there talking in chat. You've been around for what, 4 years now? He'll tell you there's a lot of good people that went over to Infection. It's just more chill. more of our veteran players over there, and they're real generous and nice people. And I'm not insulting Outbreak people. I personally am dedicated to Outbreak because that was our first server. So that'll always
dedicated too.
And plus I have a prisoner of war over there right now, which would be Mountain Juice. But I mean Outbreak, we all started there at some point, so we can't. That honestly, I'm going to branch off into a side topic there. We can't keep. I see a lot of the veteran players like talking shit about Outbreak people. And it's like, dude, you all came from there because that was our first server. So, just quit bad mouthing the people that play there, man. The most of them are actually really awesome people. It's just, again, with new players comes trolls. That's just how Rust works in general. If we shut down all our servers except Infection, guess what server would start filling up with trolls? Infection would. So it's not really Outbreak or the people that play there. It's just the fact that it draws new players in because it's the most full server. So, yeah, Bush. So, please stop insulting the people that play there. They are my first love because that was our first server. Anyway, so if you transfer, you get free vet gold and plus 10 skill points. The only thing I didn't mention, Utopia is a little different. It does not have a PvP day at the end of the wipe. Other than that fact, it is an identical server to all the other ones. The only difference with Utopia is there's no PvP day. It has what's called a raid day. On raid day, we basically get rid of all raid-based timers. You can just raid back to back to back as much as you want. And we get rid of Bradley and I think Heli timer. Are the Heli timers gone too?
I believe so.
Okay, so we get rid of Bradley and Heli timers also. So basically, on Utopia, instead of raiding bases, you can just go crazy with raiding NPC bases, and you can go crazy with Bradleys and Helis without any cooldowns. The only other difference on Utopia on raid day is that you can be looted and stolen from on that day. The rest of the wipe is normal, just like all the other servers. But on raid day, you can be looted. You can't be raided, but you can be looted, and so can your shit. So make sure you lock your doors and stuff at least before that day. But other than that, man, yeah, Utopia, no PvP, just a bunch of fucking back-to-back raids and back-to-back Bradleys and Helis when it comes to raid day. So anyway, hope a lot of you will put a transfer ticket in. Outbreak is way too fucking packed right now. That's why it's having the entity problem. That's why it's got such long, I think the queues were like 2+ hours last wipe. It's insane. And we just can't figure out why, because they're literally identical servers. Why does everyone keep sticking to Outbreak? So one final note on the transfers. And by the way, this is my final note for the entire meeting, for my portion of the meeting, so I'm almost done. One final note for transfers. If you're going to put in a transfer ticket, we do not handle transfers on Force Wipe Day. Force Wipe Day is a day we would literally want to throw ourselves off of a tall building. The way transfers work anyway, especially with a Force Wipe, because everything wipes anyway, so it's not like you have to transfer anything. So if you're going to transfer and you want the free gift or whatever, just put the ticket in now, or put the ticket in after Force Wipe, like on Friday, because it doesn't really matter. If you want to transfer, all you need to do is just go start playing on the new server, and we'll handle your ticket when we can get to it. You can put your tickets in now, or tomorrow, or the next day, basically just not on Force Wipe Day. You can put them in even on PvP Day, whatever, and all you need to do is say in your ticket, hey, this is for Force Wipe, I just wanted to put it in now. And, we'll go ahead and grant you your prize. The cool thing is your prize won't even kick in until you log in on the new server. So when you log in on Force Wipe, it'll be there waiting for you. But just put the ticket in before Force Wipe Day. Again, just let us know in the ticket, hey, I don't want to actually transfer until Force Wipe, but I'm putting the ticket in now. That would be really a smart way to do it, because we will ignore your tickets on Force Wipe Day. Any admin or any ex-admin will tell you, all you want to do on Force Wipe Day is shoot yourself. Like, it's fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. We have no time for tickets on Force Wipe Day. Okay. That is my last note, I think. Yeah, server transfers, blah. Yeah, we're still doing prizes. Perfect. And hey, Aleahnah. Oop. Look, I'm going to grant her speaking privilege. How do you grant speaking privilege to people? Somebody get, oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Aleahnah, for those of you who are new here, she's a retired admin. She's one of our longest running lead admins here, and we keep forcing her to do admin stuff. That's why I gave her speaking roles, just to force her into more shit. Anyway, all right, so with all that said on our notes, I'm going to pass this on to the leads, which would be Nola. Nola, you got anything?
I do. So it's been a long time that we've had to buzz around Outbreak looking for anything and everything we can find to remove. I'm just going to double down on what T said, and like, we're not looking for tickets where, hey, this guy has extra, too many floors on his base or something like that. Um, we're asking for everybody else, like all of our players who do come to these meetings, just self police a little bit. If you want to have a farm early in the wipe, but you end up not using it after, the first couple days or something, pull it down. I mean, every entity helps. We're going around and, finding sleeping bags from new players who spent 5 minutes on the server and removing them off the side of a mountain, things like that. Just we're doing everything we can to keep it running smoothly for you. The server's going to continue to run. It's just going to turn into a lag fest, or we're going to have a rollback. So you know, Outbreak players especially, but regardless of what server you're on, think about it. It's not just Legos. It affects others, and anything that players can do to help themselves and help others would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, on that same entity note, anybody that's been around, like veteran player wise, that's been around for a couple of years now, you guys, let me take you back. Let me take you back. You remember back when our building guidelines and our deployable guidelines were actual rules that we purposely patrolled the servers every single day for?
You
guys,
got 10 planners instead of 9 planners.
let me tell you, it was miserable from both ends. And all it did was just ruined everything. And the sad thing was it was for a good cause. It's to keep the server running smoothly for y'all. But the problem is you go to this guy and he's way over the limits on all this shit, but he's new to the server. He had no idea. And you tell him to tear this down, tear that down. You're over the limits on this. You're over the limits on this. All that does is piss him off, right? He's pissed. Now he's like, this fucking server. I swear to God, man, these guys are just up my ass. And all that does is make us feel like shit. We don't want to go around being assholes and telling people, oh, you got to tear this down. You got to tear that down. It makes us look like shit. And honestly, it makes us feel like shit. And honestly, it's a waste of fucking time. We have much better things we could be doing with our lives than patrolling the server, telling people to delete a refinery or something, So, and the only reason I'm even jumping down this rabbit hole is what he said about self-policing. If you guys would just self-police, our deployable limits and our building limits that we post on our website, they are so reasonable. So reasonable. You do not even need half of what we have those limits set to right now. You really don't. You don't even need half of that stuff. So they're so reasonable already. But they're still getting violated. Like, I cannot log into Outbreak ever without seeing a base that's hardcore violating every single one of those deployable or building guidelines. Every single day, I see that shit. Matter of fact, it's an inside joke now. If we have a ticket that comes in for Outbreak, and everybody is in voice, and they're like, "Oh God, T, don't log in Outbreak. Whatever you do, don't fly around." Like, I mean, it's because it's terrible. Everywhere you go, it's just so much wasted shit everywhere for no reason. So please, self-police yourselves. We're not doing it because we want to control how you play. We're not doing it to be jerks. We're not doing it to stop you from building your castle. Trust me, when I was a player, I got in trouble on the server I played on because I built a fucking castle, and I thought the admins were such assholes until I got my own damn server, and then I realized why. And I'm like, holy shit, I was an asshole, wasn't I? So, look, we don't do it because we want to. We do it because we don't want the server to fucking run like shit for y'all. We want y'all to really, have a smooth and enjoyable experience. So please cut back on the entities and the builds and follow the rules. I just take one day to just go read the building and the deployable guideline pages, because it even explains, like, hey, we're more strict on this than we are on that, and this is why we have this, and this is why we want that. These kind of deployables will affect people more than those kind of we explain all that shit. So just go read that stuff, please. It is so pointless, and we really, really, really hate getting onto y'all for your builds. We really do. But you're killing us. Sorry, Nola, you got anything else there?
No, that was it. I mean, that's been the most pressing thing that has taken us away from working on maps or doing developmental stuff. Is just literally every day I carve out an hour just to fly around and delete shit on Outbreak.
You know, and
Giant twig bases where there's not even a TC anymore. They're just slowly decaying, and there's floor after floor after floor of nothing.
we really don't want to go back to these being like hardcore rules like the old days, like I was talking about earlier. We don't want to go back to that. We really don't. When we abolish them and turn them into suggested guidelines instead of rules, we did so on the premise of, okay, players, that was really miserable. You all did not enjoy that, neither did we. How about we put this in your hands now? How about you guys police yourselves, and these won't be hard rules anymore? And honestly, that was working for a while, but as you see today, it is slowly starting to fail again because you guys have gone way over the limits. You're almost at 300,000 on Outbreak right now. So please get it under control. We don't want to go back to the old ways of having to police that shit. We really don't want to. Really don't want to. You can live on
really quickly to you on that, just before someone says it in channel. It's not the Halloween stuff, by the way, guys. Like, T literally logged in, and there was a giant, like, half a grid PvP base. Yeah,
already, and it's not even PvP prep time yet, which technically means that base is in complete violation. So yeah, it's not that. It's like it's been like this anyway. It's been creeping. Look, scroll back to last wipe and the mic before that. It was already creeping in the low to mid 200s. I mean, now it's in the high 200s. It's creeping. But it's just got to be self-police. Let's face it, for real. Oh, my phone. I'm gonna throw it out the damn window. You could spend the entire wipe on one of our servers in a fucking 2x3 with a team in a 2x3. You don't need 74 boxes all hooked up to industrial. 36 planters, 15 water catchers. You don't need all that shit. You don't need all that shit. So please, just get it under control. Please, I'm begging. All right. Admin team. Anybody else got anything? Staff, admins, anybody in this?
Yep.
Go ahead, Cryo.
So all I wanted to really say was, if we're starting to like take action on a player, or we're talking to a player in global chat, trying to talk to them about a situation that's going on, please don't just jump in on what's going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. The lynch mob, mentality. I think I discussed this a couple meetings ago too. Is just like from the admin side, I promise you, and I guarantee you, everybody in this channel is gonna nod their head yes when I say this. We love the fact that you guys back us up so much. Like, I'm not gonna lie. There's been days where we've giggled about it. Like, who was it? Even the players. You guys remember this? Like, what was it? A week ago? I was
the guy in general chat.
Yeah, I was playing with my food in general chat. You remember that? Like a week ago, that one guy. We were all getting on him, but you know what I'm talking about, because even the players were too. I forgot.
Oh, that dragged me on a vacation for like an hour.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I let that shit go on for hours and hours and hours. So don't get me wrong, like all of us definitely enjoy the fact that our player base sticks up for us so much. Because what's funny is when he first said something, he was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And all of us were in voice together, and we're like, oh, man, he just does not know what server he's doing that on, because he was saying something like, your players aren't going to stand up for you or something like that. I'm like, we were all like, dude, you picked the wrong server for that mentality, because these players got our backs, man. You guys
I was so nice to that kid in that ticket, too.
I know. I posted the ticket for everybody to see. And I was like, dude, he does not know what server he's doing that on, because our players really, really have our backs. And honestly, that is the best feeling in the world. Like, I'm telling you straight up, every admin in this channel right now has got to be nodding their head yes, because that is the best feeling. But yeah, we got to tone that down a little bit. Like, at least lynching. Like, obviously that day, there was no helping that guy. We were just playing with our food at that point. But for the most part, just tone it down a little bit. We don't all need to jump on somebody. I log into the server and say, hey, I need to speak to you about this and that, and everybody's like, ooh, and starts jumping on the person. Like, we don't need all that. It just makes people feel bad, and they're less likely to fix what they did wrong if they're like, well, fuck this place anyway. Everybody's jumping on me. Who cares? So just let us handle it. We'll try to talk them down and get them to correct their behavior and stuff like that. So please don't lynch mob people. But if you see us playing with our food like that one incident, yeah, feel free to jump in. That was actually pretty funny. Aleahnah, you had something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I wasn't planning on actually staying tonight. Sorry if I give any false hope. I was just popping in to say good luck to you guys this meeting. I've got a lot of work to do. So, but hi everybody, and I hope you enjoyed our Halloween wipe. And thanks for having me by.
Hi Aleahnah. Bye
Absolutely.
Aleahnah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey, how you doing?
I don't mean to. I've got some work to do.
Get back to your work. Get back to your work. We all love you, and I'm gonna keep. Matter of fact, I know I'm dragging you out of retirement for some more work, because we got Christmas coming up soon, and you're one of our biggest Christmas supporters. So.
Yep.
Cool.
See you guys.
All right, have fun. For those who don't know, by the way, before I pass the floor on, if you have never played Zombieland in December, you want to play. I promise you, you want to play in December. Call your friends, call your neighbors, call your wives. You definitely want to play in December. It is a lot of fun. We are very open-handed with the loot. Wives, yeah, they're Mormons. You never know. We're very open-handed with our loot. We're very. The maps are going to be all themed with Christmassy stuff everywhere. There's going to be sledding contests and like ski slopes with ramps that you can jump off of and see who can do the best slalom jumps. And just there's tons of shit going on for Christmas on our servers for the entire month of December. And a matter of fact, I just did the wipe for November, so it actually looks like our Christmas celebrations. I'm looking down here at my calendar, and I'm old, so I can't read that well. It looks like our Christmas celebrations are actually going to start the last wipe of November's Force Wipe, because the December Force Wipe is a week into December. So technically, yeah, Christmas is going to start for Zombieland probably the last week of November even. So it's going to be good shit. We have a lot of fun during Christmas. You guys really, really, really want to be here for Christmas. I promise you. December is the wipe to be here. The whole Force Wipe. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to throw in?
Yep.
Go.
Yeah, so to touch on, kind of piggyback on what T talked about earlier about hiring, I just want to kind of address anybody who might be here that is thinking about applying, but is maybe on the fence of it, just unsure of whether they should or shouldn't, or if they have any simple questions about what it means to be an admin, what we kind of do. And just I can put myself out there for PMs. Feel free to PM me on Discord, and I'm happy to converse with you if you got some simple questions or you're on the fence about applying for an admin. I'm a relatively new admin, so I can kind of express kind of what I've been through going through the admin process, and maybe push you over that fence one way or the other if you're thinking about it. So just wanted to put that out there.
Hell yeah. And Wookie, the thing you posted to me, the video, yeah, go ahead and add that to my to-do list. I'll get on it. I don't even need the video. Just post what it's about. I'll remember.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I do have one thing to throw in there, T.
Go ahead.
PS or public service announcement for some folks. Great I've been on vacation for a month, but I take a look at tickets here and there. Great uptake on the posting videos in your ticket, folks. Keep doing that. If you're updating your graphics cards, drivers, just a quick tip for everybody though, check your GeForce experience to make sure it's still recording, because it's been disabling it for a lot of people. So just FYI.
Cool. And Twiz, you got people asking, did you mean for them to DM you and stuff? Is that all right?
Yes, DM me in Discord is good.
All right,
I said
perfect.
PM, I apologize. DM in Discord is good.
Yep, cool. Thanks for asking too, because as most of y'all know, we can't stand when people DM admins. But if they're asking you to, then that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I might regret it, but I'm putting myself out there for the messages. So.
Believe it or not, people have really chilled out. I kept my DMs disabled in our Discord for years, man, because god damn if everybody didn't think I was their personal fucking assistant. And honestly, I've had them back on now for almost a year, and I have not been irritated once. I mean, I get these random friend requests all the fucking time, but I just decline them. No offense to anybody that sent me a friend request, by the way. I just don't randomly friend people on Steam or Discord if I don't actually hang out with you and stuff. I'm just weird like that. I do the same thing with my Facebook, honestly. I don't ever accept anybody that I've not actually met and hung out with. Anyway, but yeah, PM wise, I haven't actually had people really bugging the shit out of me that much lately, so they've really calmed down with that. I mean, you know, other than like Rocket Rebel sending me nudes all the time, it's been pretty chill. So cool. All right. That's it for the staff then. I guess we're gonna go on to the Q&A, and that's pretty much it. Q&A, and I'll show you some of the new content I got to show you guys and stream the map. And we do have a little Halloween announcement to do during the stream time and the present time, so stay tuned for that. We do have a little Halloween thing we're gonna be opening up to y'all here shortly, but first we're gonna do the Q&A. And everybody keeps typing all these questions and stuff. Write them down for the Q&A. So while I think Nola, you gonna handle the raise a hand thing? Yes, was that yes?
Spinning it up now.
Okay, cool. During the Q&A, you guys. So our last server meeting was actually really short, and then the Q&A lasted for like 2 hours. So try to keep it short. Try to keep it brief. Oh, see there goes all the hands already. Try to keep it short. Try to keep it brief. Like. I give you my word. I will sit here till 4 o'clock in the fucking morning if that's what it takes to answer all your questions. I really will. But I can't say the same for my staff and for the rest of the players here who just want to get their fucking prizes and go back to playing Rust. So please speed it up a little bit. Yeah, we know you won't, Wookie. Please speed it up a little bit. Try to limit your questions to maybe 1 or 2 at the max. We've had people before coming here with like 5 questions. It's like, oh my god, one after the other.
What did your radio training go? Think, push, speak.
Yeah. So, just try to keep it concise and short and to the point. There's other people waiting behind you that want to ask questions or say stuff. Don't get me wrong. If all you want to do is jump in here and give us a compliment or even tell us that our server sucks, whatever. We'll take the insults if that's what you want to. But again, just keep it quick. We've got a lot of people waiting in line. So, all right. So with that said, to do this, all you got to do is there should be a button in the top right of your screen that says Request to Speak. And it puts you in a queue, and Nola will call out a name and grant permission to whoever. They will ask their question or give their feedback or whatever they want to do. We'll answer it. If you don't want to talk out loud, you're more than welcome when it's your turn. Wait till it's your turn. But you're more than welcome to type your question if you don't feel like being a speaker. And that's fine too. So go ahead, Nola.
One additional request when you're done speaking with us. Also, please step down from the stage. We can do it manually, but it's nice to not have to remove every player from the stage. All right, up first we have AJ.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up? What's up?
This is more of a sort of a carry on to something you guys were discussing earlier. As someone who has been map testing for a couple of months now, I think. When did I sign up, Wookie?
It's a couple of months, yeah.
Yeah. I
Thank you, by the way. Been doing
I'm gonna interrupt him. Hey, everybody in this channel, this dude right here is literally probably one of the best map testers I think I've ever seen in our 5-year history. So I'm sorry. He gets on my damn nerves, but he's a fucking amazing map tester. He really is.
Yeah, we'll get better at building maps.
Damn. This is why he gets on my nerves. This is why he gets on my he burns me like every day. He literally does. Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry. What's your question?
Yeah. As I say, it wasn't really a question, more something to carry on something that you were talking to earlier. As someone who has seen behind the scenes on the work and preparation that goes into making these maps, and sometimes I've seen T-Bird delete entire structures just to make sure that the deploy count is down. I really don't want to see it reaching to the point where we have to, well, I say we admins have to delete bases because they're getting too big. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd quite happily be that arsehole that would be flying around deleting bases if I was an admin, which is part of the reason why T-Bird won't make me an admin. But yeah, just try and keep your bases down, guys. It really does ruin the server, especially when you go to a river trying to get some sort of corn or pumpkin, and you just get raid base, just back to back to back to back to back. It's fine one after the other. It's fine sort of one there, two there. But when you get 5 in a row, it's just too much.
Agree.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and I mean, to that point, T was talking earlier about the entity count on servers. It's kind of what we use as a rule of thumb in terms of what we add into a map. That includes monuments, that includes custom build spots, that includes anything that goes into the map, even the number of trees that we have on the map. We have to sometimes we kind of have to gut check that number a little bit. Our target's 48, 45, whatever it may be, and as we start getting into 50s, we're like, yeah, but I'd hate to lose that monument. I mean, players really loved that the last time we ran the map, or hey, I can't wait to put this on the map. If we have to gut check ourselves and say, yeah, we've been going off that 48, 50K entities, but last map we were almost hitting 300K entities with all the player structures. We're going to be a lot more conservative in terms of what we start a map with, and that's going to be custom build spots. That's going to be additional monuments. That's going to be content. So, if the game for you is building a giant base with a lot of entities, you're going to be detracting from other kind of content.
Yeah, in a nutshell, you're basically going to be losing content.
Yep.
I mean, like that castle, or not castle, but that big Chad PvP base I saw earlier that Wookie was talking about when I logged in Outbreak. That base alone right there had as many entities as like 3 custom build spots. And I don't mean custom build spots as in the players who built inside them. I mean like when I make them in the map, in piece by piece, designing a building for you guys to build in. That base I just saw in Outbreak was about 3 custom build spots worth of stuff inside the map maker. So to counteract that giant base that was built, I would have to remove 3 custom build spots from our map file. So the more and more we see the entities get this high, the more and more you guys are risking us having to cut content out of the maps to make up for the difference. And as AJ just said, that was his whole point here, is that he sat there and had to watch me spend hours and hours and hours deleting stuff, trying to cut back on entities because the players won't.
Yep. And the last thing we want is for the admins to have to start going in and just wiping these bases and becoming the bad guys because people can't stick to the rules.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll let it crash.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, AJ.
Appreciate you.
No worries. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Speaking of AJ too, we are also taking map tester applications. It's similar to the applying for staff. It's under support bot. If you click it, we got certain admins that handle that whole program. It's not me. They will talk to you and see if you'd make a good fit as a map tester. AJ is incredible at it. We've had a lot of people join and it's just not their thing. We've had some join that are really good at it. So feel free to put an app in if that's your thing. It's a lot easier to get into than it is to get into adminning. And hey, at least you get to look at the maps early, right?
Get a little peeky peek.
A little sneak peek. Actually, you get to help design them too. Like, don't get me wrong. There's been times that AJ's like, hey, I think you should move this door over here, make that right there a parkour thing, put a fuse down there, and he's literally revamped puzzles himself. Like, obviously I'm the one doing it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you actually get to be hands on as a map tester and really put input into what goes into these maps, and that's really cool. I mean, at least if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty cool. I literally helped T design that, and here it is. I'm playing with it now. That's kind of cool. All right, go ahead.
All right, up next we have Control Delete. Howdy.
Oh, this must be who I have blocked in Discord. Well, I guess I need to unblock. Hold
Control,
on.
you there?
I can't hear because how do I do that?
I don't know, lighten up either.
He's not muted. He's just not transmitting.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yep.
Now I can.
Hey, so yeah, I've been blocked for a few months, but that's okay.
Well, you must have pissed me off. I have never blocked anybody in Discord.
We made a deal of it when it happened, but that's okay. I'm not here for that. So I'm actually a senior data analyst. I play with Yobitty, Johnny Cake, a few others on the infection server.
Johnny
That's how I read it every time.
You're never living that one down.
No. That's what I call him too. Oh, he's here. Excellent.
That's funny.
So anyway, when I say that, I'm saying like I'm first on points, and I'm only saying that not as a brag, but just to let you know that I play this server like I care. Right?
I know who you are, and I definitely know Johnny. Man, that motherfucker, that's got to be one of the most loyal players we've ever had.
Yeah, and to beat him in points is even harder. Yep. So believe me when I say that I'm trying my hardest to understand how the server works. I made a post about the campers, obviously. It's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't really care which way it goes. In fact, I wanted to just report 2 things. One, you asked for some input on how people play. And again, this was when I was playing with Yobitty as well. And now I'm playing with all these other people and trying to give you my feedback on the campers situation. I find myself using the sedan or whatever the car is called a lot and building a lot of 1x1 bases.
Okay.
Is this at odds with like having a custom build spot and building a 1x1? Is that okay now?
So custom build spots, the official ruling on that is that, and there's an official ruling and then there's some behind the scenes of like, this is our discrepancy, the kind of guidelines I give the admin team. So I'll give you both. The official ruling on custom build spots is you have a custom build spot or you're authorized on a custom build spot. You can only have 1x1s, scattered around the map, which we call teleport points, right? We've had a lot of people in the past like, well, you should get rid of those. You got entity problems. You would get rid of teleport points. Well, you can't, because the problem is this. So if I said to players, you know what? We got too many entities. No more of these 1x1s where you can teleport to with /home. All they're going to do then is say, well, what are we supposed to do then? I say, well, they got to be a real base. You can't have 1x1s anymore. So what are you know damn well what players are going to do at that point. They're going to make fake bases and just say, well, see, it's not a 1x1, it's a base now. So a long time ago, because we had a lot of admins, including leads, saying, yeah, we should outlaw 1x1 teleport points. That's just too much shit getting scattered. Again, the point being is it's the lesser of two evils, because if we did outlaw them, people are just going to make fake bases, and that's just more entities. So we allow them. That wasn't your question. The question was custom builds. I'm just explaining what those are. The custom build spots, if you have one, you can have those 1x1 teleport points around the map. You can only have a sleeping bag and a TC in them. A lot of people say, well, that's not fair. Why can't we have a vending machine? Why can't we? Because the whole purpose of this rule in general is because the custom build spots are so fucking broken and overpowered and desired by most people that they have to have a really bad negative side to them to counterbalance that. You've been around long enough, so is Johnny, to remember all the old school fighting over custom build spots. Every damn map is just nonstop fighting and bickering over them things. So adding a negative aspect to them was a huge positive move in the whole admin team will back that up, because we haven't had to deal with any kind of problems since then. You can't have things attached to them either, like the 1x1s. We've had a lot of players get a custom build spot and then they'll get a 1x1, but they'll attach they'll scatter a couple of them all the way down to a lake, and they're just 1x1s. And then they have pipes, daisy chaining all the way back to their custom build spot. Well, the custom build spot wasn't near water and I wanted to make a farm. No, that's part of the drawback to the custom build spot. You don't get, if you're not near water, then oh well, you're fucked. You can't have a farm.
Just cutting to the point, the 1x1s are allowed.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
like that.
But again, that's why I keep telling you these extra parts is you can't have things attached. This has been a real problem lately. That's why I'm rambling about it. You can't have things attached to them. You also can't put them right outside the custom build spot. If you have a custom build spot and you have a 1x1, half a grid away from it, well, you're not using that as a teleport spot. You're using that as a way to kind of get around, maybe putting some furnaces or something else out there. So they have to be actually out there somewhere. They can't just be right next to your custom build spot.
So that said, the 1x1s are an acceptable solution. I just find I'm not using the campers at all anymore, since I can build a 1x1 and bring in the car. That's fine. I also just wanted to say thank you to the admins for all of your support and everything that you guys do.
Oh, see, now I feel good for unblocking you.
Appreciate that.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, Control, I honestly legit, and I don't even want to know, so don't tell me, I honestly legit have no fucking clue what happened and why I was pissed off at you, so whatever.
I don't know either.
I don't even want to know.
I'm gonna challenge your decisions all the time, because that's
people do that all the time anyway, though, but I don't even want to know, because if it was that bad, I would have remembered it, so fuck it.
Thanks again, and goodbye.
Yep, appreciate it.
Later.
I'm hoping that means he votes for number 2 then, and get rid of the damn modular car thing.
Yes, I will.
Awesome, perfect.
Up next, we have Just Mad.
Now that background noise is about to make us mad too. You okay there, Just Mad?
We lost Just Mad.
Oh, no. He's at work. Why don't you just type it, Just Mad? Come on now. You ain't got no problem typing any other time. There, he's typing. I see him. I see it. Little blinky blink down there. Every time I do that in general chat, all the players start screenshotting. They're like, oh, he must be a fucking novel.
He's typing.
He's typing. We're in trouble. Yeah, like I'm so mean.
Why do we use such a shitty voice every time we talk about players? That's disrespectful.
You notice that, right? I think we're just salty. Like, did I not just I was just interviewing somebody for an admin position earlier, and remember I said, I was like, you're gonna get salty, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna get salty. Some of the people, it's only 5%, but some of these people are really fucking mean.
I don't get salty.
You just are salty though. That's the problem.
Born salty.
You are. You're the opposite. Every now and then you'll get happy.
Usually just after a nap.
Right. The 7th nap of the day. Come on, Justman, you gotta talk quicker. All right, here we go. Can't speak. Sorry at work. Love the mini bosses and Hawkins' amazing work this wipe. I want to build raid bases, but really confused on how to go about doing it. Thanks, and that is all. You know what? I am honestly, I planned on doing this almost a month ago, and I've just been so busy with this stupid ass mayor thing. Oh my god! Hey, if any of you guys are religious out there, do me a favor. Tonight, I need you to get on your knees and pray to God or whoever the hell you worship. I'm not religious, so I can't do it. He won't listen to me. Get down there and pray that I lose this election. Please, for the love of God, pray that I lose this election. The election is Tuesday. Not tomorrow, but next Tuesday. Please. I'm running for fucking mayor, dude. Please pray that I lose this election. Yeah, I want to lose really badly. Now that I've gotten involved and seen how they treat their... Yeah, how much shenanigans is going on, how they treat people. Like, they're so fucking mean to their political figures around here. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with this shit. No, I don't do ass kissing, period. You guys know me better than that. Anyway, we'll discuss that later. That's off topic. Back to his question. So anyway, I was going to fire up the build server again about a month ago, and I'm still going to. I just haven't had time. And I'm doing a cool new thing where, like, part of it's going to be quadrants. Like, part of it will be like some of the old school plugins that we used to run, like fun game ones, you know, gun game and racetracks and shit like that. So that'll be like one section of the map. And then one section of it will be a bunch of crazy, like, custom build spots and stuff for you to practice builds in and just explore and look at. And then another section will just be flat open fucking land, you know, for you to build bases in and practice builds in and stuff like that. You'll be able to no-clip. You'll be able to spawn yourself in a bunch of stuff. And anyway, that is where you would submit raid bases. We used to have players all the time get on our build server, and they would just build tons and tons. That's where most of our catalog came from, is players building raid bases. On the other side of that coin, if you ever have a neat-looking base on the real servers, we steal those from you all the time and make them into raid bases.
Tactically acquire.
We tactically acquire your base. But I mean, it's literally one fucking chat command, and we have your base saved to a file. And then we can go drop it onto the build server or the test server. We can revamp it a little bit, you know, spice it up for being a raid and do what we got to do to it. So even if your base doesn't even seem like it would be a raid base, you know, I've stolen bases before. I've tactically acquired bases before that just like we're a pretty little log cabin on a hill somewhere. You know, they don't have to look like a raid base or be a raid base. We actually revamp them and categorize them, you know, easy, medium, hard, whatever, and do that with them. So even before I get the build server back online, if you build a really cool looking base, by all means, let me know. I forgot who it was that built that really cool. Remember, there was like an alligator base, and then there was like what was the other one? Like a big bear? Or no, it was a dog. That's right. They built
Nivix's dog.
They built Nivix's dog. Yeah, I saved both of those bases. I mean, I logged in and saved both of those bases. Those came from a player, and then we revamped them and made them into raids. So
just don't build a nightmare base, please.
Yeah, let's not do that. Remember the entity count. But if you get on the build server when I get it back online, then you can work on big stuff like experts and nightmares. All right, moving on.
Up next, we've got Wingman.
You're lighting up, but you're not making noise. Okay, you can ask there. That's fine.
So what's new while we're waiting?
Yeah. So, how y'all been? I don't know how feasible it may be, but a bubble in the monuments to stop mod cars? Yeah, it's not feasible at all. It would be another plugin, and it would be a pretty taxing one too, so definitely not. Yeah, not allowing /recall in a monument. Now that would be cool. I can already not allow it inside of a raid base. So So sadly, it wouldn't really affect that at all because people just do it outside the raid base. I bet I could work something in there where that /recall doesn't work on a certain topology, like a monument topology. I'm sure Nivix would know better, right? Nivix, that should work. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll look into that. So, put that in as a suggestion. Make /recall not work with monuments, and I'll know what you mean from there. And I'll ignore the rest of the discussion that goes on after that.
Cool. Appreciate it, Wingman.
Hang on, there's one more question. Stay tapped out.
Oh, last question. Instead of hiring full mods, maybe assign entity monitors. No, we don't want to do that. We don't even want to police entities ourselves. So we do hire entity monitors. It's called the players that build the bases. They know what they're doing, and they know what they're doing is wrong sometimes, and they just need to learn to control it. Moving on.
All right. Good evening.
Oh, hello. Good evening.
Well, hello.
I just wanted to say, my team and I, two of them, one of them has 1,000 hours, the other one has almost 3,000 hours. They played only PvP, and we all love it here. We've been here for a month, came from Outbreak, went to Infection. Just want to say thank you and all the admins and staff that created a nice welcoming space. That's all I gotta say.
What do you like? What's drawing you in from PvP?
I quadrupled my hours. I didn't really like Rust. I like farming. I like helping the community, being a nice guy. But I started to do Bradley's, all other content. So I like just about everything. Custom monuments, everything's pretty fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, look, we definitely try to have a variety of things for players to do, whether it be the little sliver of PvP or, running around hitting rocks. So appreciate having you here.
Thank y'all again. That's all I got to say.
I missed getting killed by the 11-year-old and teabagged and me called the N-word.
Nola, you guys didn't make the haunted house thing public yet, did you? It's not supposed to be.
Badass that it be made public. It is currently.
How did it get made public?
I made it public.
Oh.
I can unmake it.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be public yet. How'd that get made public? Somebody asked you to?
Yeah, Bad asked me to go ahead and enable the warp.
Oh yeah, I see that in my DMs where he said, "Oops, I already asked Nola to," even when I told him not to do it. Okay.
Oh wait, what?
No, he said, I can see. I told him no, I'm gonna make those public at the end of the meeting, and then he said, "Oh, whoops, I asked Nola to do it." So, okay.
And then period.
Yeah.
Even though you asked him not to. Okay. I was like, wait a second. He asked me to.
He threw you under the bus. Please.
I missed a message.
Please remove that. Those are not supposed to be public yet. I will explain in DM. And we can move on to the next question too.
Okay. It is. I just took the warp down. All right. One sec.
Yeah, you guys are not supposed to be in there.
All right. Up next, we have Supreme. And I will assist with moving people out of the haunted area.
Who do we got? Supreme?
Supreme?
You don't see him in there. Supreme! Supreme! Hello? Hello?
Let me try clicking it again.
There we go.
There you are. Who let him in here?
Been invited yet? Going way back to the start of this meeting, T, you brought up a bunch of stuff about suggestions and everything, and I know I'm one of the chatty people in there. Sorry for wall of texting everything. I just figured, help people develop ideas and back and forth. That being said, to everyone here, some people brought up, sometimes you feel like maybe there's a conversation going on, you don't want to butt in, you may have ideas even if you're new. Please voice your suggestions. I'm gonna try to respond less now, but don't be afraid. Oh, I have the little sprouting plant next to my name. I shouldn't have an opinion. Have an opinion, even if it's bad. It's an opinion. And yeah, that was really it.
Honestly, and it's going to sound weird, but a lot of times I value the new players' opinions more than the veterans, because the veterans are kind of biased. They're just used to a certain way, so they're always going to be like, no, I like it this way. It's always been this way. Like that. Like new players, they come here with a fresh look.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that I think I specifically said that in one of the suggestions recently, buried by 700 comments.
Yeah, well, and the problem with the suggestions being so chatty, it wasn't a dig at anybody really. It's just the fact that we are so busy, especially being so short-staffed, that I don't have time to go reading all that crap to try to figure out, is this a valid suggestion? I don't know, because it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, I don't have time to go through this and try to sort out if this is actually even a decent idea. Or even worse is gauge how the players feel about it, because they're so busy going back and forth so much, I can't even get a good gauge on things. So
yeah, no, that's fair. Myself, and I've spoken to a few other in DMs. I'll forward it on because I don't see them here. A lot of the time it was just, we're trying to develop the idea and hash out, like, are we wrong? Is the other person wrong? This or that. So we will, we can definitely tone that back a bit.
Yeah.
We were trying to be more helpful, but it seems we had the opposite effect.
Yep.
And, that was really it.
Yeah, as long as, again, the discussion is helpful. Just gotta slow it down or make it more concise, or bullet pointed or something. Because I'm old. My attention span doesn't go that far.
For sure. All right.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, Jukes. That was one of the. Yeah, it is what it is. Have a good one, guys.
Later, man.
Later. All right. Up next, we have Woe is Hunter. Hunter, you look like you're new to our community.
Yeah, I joined like last Thursday.
Fuck yeah!
Welcome
to the Nut House, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean,
leave while you still can.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I came over here with one person because we were looking for new servers. All we've done is PvP servers, and they get kind of sweaty.
Oh yeah.
So we're looking kind of for more chill experience. And I'm this is probably the best server I found.
Hell yeah.
I've looked through like 40, 50 servers, tested them out, a couple hours, and this is the one I'm going to stay here.
It would have been funny if you said I tried 2. This is the best one.
No, there was a lot. Yeah, I tried Infection and then I tried Outbreak.
Right.
Outbreak is the one.
Oh God. This guy's smoking something.
Yes, I've got a couple questions. So one thing I've like kind of, just coming from playing PvP servers for the last year and a half, it doesn't seem like there's many options for interaction between the rest of the server other than like global chat. I don't know if it's possible to have like quests that can be team based, that you can like team up with other teams, like really large quests to like, kill 5,000 horde zombies or something, and then a large reward that gets split evenly across the teams that join in, kind of thing like that, to encourage interaction between other teams and players.
So that would be freaking amazing if it was possible. The problem with the quest plugin is everything believe it or not, if I ever really took the time to sit down and just explain to y'all how the quest plugin works and how we've managed to get the quests we have, we are really jerking that plugin a lot farther than it's supposed to go. It only can monitor oxide hooks. And again, Nivix probably being correcting me in chat here as I'm talking, because I don't know the real technical side of things, but it just monitors things you do. So in other words, like so what'd you say? Kill zombie. You can kill tons of zombie hordes, right? So all that does is it has a hook, on entity killed or whatever. And you, the player, when you take an action and you kill something, as in what Rust considers to be the kill, which would be the final shot, sadly, that's how they consider kills in the core game of Rust. When you kill something, that hook is called on entity killed. And the game is basically saying like, hey, anybody want to do anything with this? This guy just killed something. And our quest plugin says, oh, wait, actually, yeah, I do. I've been trying to watch for that hook to get called. And the quest plugin says, wait, who did it? And it says, oh, Hunter did it. Cool. He has a quest for that. Give him a +1 to his quest now. Done. And then it moves on to the next thing. You get what I'm saying? So every action you take calls a hook, and it's only called by the player that took the action, if that makes sense. So when you hit a node, you can't have a team of players trying to compete compete something like that because it's only going to give credit to the person who took the action. And it actually it gets even worse, honestly. Like, the heli kill quest, you could do all the damage to the heli, and the person who hits the last fucking bullet on it gets credit for the quest because that's just the way Rust is. That's the way Rust is made. There's nothing we can do about it. And then there's very set things that our quests can even do. They're actually built into the plugin, and there's only set hooks it can watch for. Looting an entity, killing an entity, buying something from a vending machine is another hook it watches. That's how I do those meep quests, is I actually kind of did a little cheat there and made them into vending machines technically. There's real, on entity harvested, on entity gathered, stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And sadly, it can't monitor a team group thing. Now, I do have, you know what? While he's doing this, I'll make an announcement. Here you go. Anybody that's actually at the server meeting will get a heads up on a new feature I'm working on. I found a way to finally do, I hope, I gotta test my theory. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. I found a way to really make chain quests, real chain quests. I don't mean, so we duct taped some chain quests together by making it where, the one quest gives you glue, an item that you can't obtain anywhere else, and you take that glue and you turn it in and it gives you another, that was our duct tape way of making a chain quest because there was really no way to do it. I finally found a hack way to make chain quests where they're true. In other words, let's just say I'm probably going to do it with the Waldo line as my first experiment. Let's say you take the Waldo quest, you don't even see the other quests. The Princess quest, the Carmen quest, and the Meep quest don't even show up in your fucking list anymore until you complete the Waldo quest. You don't have to take Waldo's item with you to get on to the next quest now. And basically once you complete Waldo, poof, the Princess quest now shows up in the list of available quests for you to take. Like, I actually found a way to do true chain quests like that where you have to complete one to get to the next. So that's what I'm working on. But yeah, hopefully the other part answered all your question on that.
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah, it was just kind of like throwing out an idea for more interaction between people other than just like global chat.
Yeah, I would love it. I honestly would love it.
I mean, because in normal servers, people are out raiding each other, killing each other all the time. There's that, you're always interacting with other players.
I will also tell you, because you're so new here and you haven't been around to experience it, that this is actually a very, very embarrassingly slow period for us right now because we're so low staffed. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say we normally have 15 to 20 admins. We're dying right now. We've got like 5. I know the list looks longer, but half of them are on leave right now and stuff like that. We're dying right now for admins. When we do have normal staff, and some of our veteran players will probably pipe up in chat right now, we actually used to hold events on almost a weekly basis. Whether it be, we'd build like a giant compound and invite the entire server over to just zerg the shit out of us, the admin team, and we would defend it, and then we'd pass out a shit ton of loot and stuff at the end of the event. We would hold, scrap copter dogfights where we'd pile a bunch of red team in one scrap copter, blue team in the other, and hand them a bunch of guns, and they'd dogfight up in the sky trying to shoot each other down, and we'd get out.
I bet you're loving the attack helicopter then.
No, I haven't even got to try it. That's how long it's been since we held a good event. And that used to be a weekly thing until we got so low staffed that we're just so behind on trying to catch up. You got to remember, man, getting these maps ready for every 10 days, that's a lot of fucking draw. So once we get back to full staff, I just said this actually in our staff meeting earlier. I'm like, guys, we got to do some more of these Zerg the admin events soon. Once we get back on full staff or we just get our shit going together, we'll definitely be back with the events. And that will, again, it doesn't answer your question, but it'll solve a lot of what you just said because it's a lot of fun. Like I said, the people in chat will tell you that shit is fun. So
Okay. I just have one more question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
So I was over here just testing out the server. I have a bunch of friends that I plan on coming over to the server. You were talking about players willingly moving over to infection and how it's the same.
Yeah.
Would you mind speaking a little bit about that again?
Yeah. So anybody that's already been playing on Outbreak, so no offense, you want to cheat the system, tell your friends to go log in there first. Anybody that's already been playing on Outbreak, if they put in a transfer ticket to transfer to infection, I mean, it's real blatantly obvious what we're doing. We're paying people to fucking uncrowd the crowded server and spread out a little bit. So if you put a transfer ticket in to go to infection or Utopia, again, Utopia is the only difference is it doesn't have PvP day. You and your group probably sound like you would enjoy PvP day, so you might want to go to infection.
Okay.
Because infection does have PvP day, just like Outbreak. we give you a free month of Vet Gold and a free bonus 10 skill points. Again, it would be stupid to do right now. It'd be smart to do it the Force Wipe because skill points reset anyway, and you don't want to just get them and lose them. I would honestly get your friends to log in right now and play like, you know, a couple hours on Outbreak just so they don't look like they're trying to bullshit through. And then put a transfer ticket in. Hey, I'm all game. The only restrictions we have is if you've played on Outbreak, what was it, a month, Nola? Is that how long?
Yeah,
if you had more than 4 hours in the last month on Outbreak or on the server you're transferring to, if you had
less than 4 hours
yeah.
on the server you're transferring.
Well, yeah, I was doing the opposite, like the restriction part of it. So if you have more than 4 hours on the server you're going to, you don't qualify for the prize because I mean at that point you're just trying to get a free prize out of us because you were already playing there in the first place.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'll probably transfer over to Infection.
Sweet.
Having people come sign in for a couple hours right now. Yeah, it sounds like an exploit to me, but okay.
Yeah, I'm literally telling you. I'm literally telling you to exploit. Yeah, but I mean, it's, you know, how would I stop you from doing that anyway? You know, so it's one of the things. Just like whatever. If it gets people off Outbreak and onto Infection, so we can spread out, I'm all for it. It's all good. And definitely put your ticket in. I'm gonna do it though. All of y'all need to put your ticket in before Force Wipe or the day after because Thursday we aren't touching that shit.
Yeah, I'll go put it in right after the meeting.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun being mayor.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Pray, remember, all of y'all, cross your fingers, please. I need you. I need your anti-votes.
Glad you found the community, Hunter. Hope you stick around.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's, you know, I haven't had this much fun on Rust in a very long time.
That's what we're here for, man.
Cheers, we appreciate it.
You know, other servers are just constantly hit Bradley on cooldown, hit Patrol Heli on cooldown, raid people.
I see you found Outbreak.
So. Yep. I mean, but on an official, it's a lot. It's disgustingly sweaty, and I hate it.
Toxic as fuck.
So yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.
Okay, up next we have Jukes for Jesus.
Oh shit! Now see, that's who's gonna pray for me to lose right there. Come on, hook it up.
Jesus got moves.
Hook it up, brother.
So I'm going to start by saying I said this. I originally was the Juki boy. This is my actual handle. I hope you lose your election.
Thank you.
Seriously, I hope you bomb that shit. Like, I hope it sucks. I hope they boo you off the stage. That being said.
Thank God.
So I'm actually still somewhat new. I started 3 days before last wipe. And I prior to this server had dumped 10,000 plus hours into Rust, and this has been the most fun I've had playing Rust in a very, very long time. There's a lot of content, it's a lot of fun, people are really cool. The one thing that I wanted to suggest, and I'll put a suggestion in for it, but the skill tree. It seems like there's almost a meta around what skills you should get because some of them just don't make any sense. Like the survivalish tree seems like there's probably no good reason why you would ever spec into that. Everybody's going for combat.
People do it all the time.
Yeah, it's all playstyle.
Really?
Yeah, it's
wow.
So it actually tracks all the stats behind the scenes in a log file, and I can tell you right now, people actually use pretty much every skill out there.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it because when I was taught about the game, everybody's like, you don't even look at this because it's crap. So that was kind of what I was going off of, and I don't see anything in there I would personally use. The only other thing is on the, pulling your car into outside of a raid base, is it not possible to just make the bubbles around it bigger so that it makes no sense for somebody to do it? I mean, you can stand far enough back and high velocity rocket an auto turret.
Thank you.
From far enough that you're not gonna get hit, so why are you using a car?
They're using it for a mobile spawn point and a mobile storage point. They're using it for a mobile base. That's the problem. I don't mind them using their car.
I don't think the camper module should exist. I think it should just be blacklisted from the server. That's just me. Because I don't believe in a mobile base.
I agree.
But using it as cover because it's technically invulnerable.
It's not.
Yeah.
They actually take damage from the auto turrets. Believe it or not, they actually take damage from the auto turrets.
Yeah, it's not, but by time it takes enough damage for it to make a difference, it's not a big deal. And
Absolutely.
Plus, what's to stop you from taking a hammer and smacking it and repairing it? I just think the bubble should be bigger. That's my suggestion.
Yep. I definitely agree with that. I don't mind them using them for cover. I mean, they could just drive it into the bubble at that point too, so it doesn't really matter either way. But I agree. The mobile base part sucks. But we don't want to get rid of a vanilla aspect of the game. I just rather put it back to vanilla, if that makes sense. That aspect.
That does make sense. And the last thing is, whichever one of you or all of you that made the Stranger Things monument, you guys are amazing. That was probably the coolest thing I've seen in any custom content anywhere.
Wait till you go back. Wait till you go back and watch the stream and see how dizzy trying to wire that shit up in there. Because I was streaming during that.
Yeah, but
it was
even in other games, like I've been parts of other mod communities that put custom stuff in, but that Stranger Things monument blew my mind.
Yeah,
it was awesome, and props to you guys.
It was very difficult to work on for sure. And wait till you see some of the other stuff we got that we have, like end game monument and stuff like that. You're definitely gonna get your mind blown. If you have my stream from this meeting right here, save it because and I'm not trying to get free subs. You ain't got to subscribe. Just save it, bookmark it, because when I stream map stuff, you get to see some of the inner workings that go into these monuments. And man, catch me in my stream one day. Just type in the chat, be like, "Hey, I'm the guy from the meeting that was talking about Stranger Things. I want to see what you're talking about." I'll pull up the monument I'm working on called Endgame. It's version 2.0. Some of our veterans have played the first version. Wait till you see. It's gonna blow your fucking mind, some of the shit that I've got
I used to back in 2016. I had tried running a server, and I tried the map editor, and I had Rust edit, all that fun stuff. Which is why I gave the props, right? Because I know that. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm pretty good, but nothing compared to what you guys can do. And I said that I showed a couple of my buddies from my Discord the custom monuments, and I was like, "You guys remember when I used to stream stuff I made to you guys?" I was like, "Look at this shit," and they're like, "Wow,
yeah,
I could only aspire to be that good."
Don't get me wrong. I've been doing this for 5 years. It wasn't like that in the beginning. I promise.
I'm sure you messed up topology plenty of times, like I did. You had ores spawning inside of monuments. It was a good time.
And Enrique in the text chat, nah, you ain't. You too, man. You've been through the first end game. You pull up my stream when I'm working next time and tell me to open end game for you. I'll show you. You're gonna be like, "Holy fuck, this is way different than I remembered it."
And I don't want to take up too much time. The last thing, I know you guys do like a theme on every map. Like the last one was, I guess, Star Wars. And this one
some of them we don't.
Kind of a Halloween.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever hold polls or have suggestions on like something that you know, like, hey, we have a couple ideas?
I mean, we have people throw them. I had somebody DM me one the other day. Even, I mean, we take them, but it's you gotta understand. I mean, like the current map I'm working on right now. A lot of players will remember. I used to call it Splatter. I'm doing a whole remake from scratch. I mean, I'm talking literally every pebble, every fucking everything from scratch, from the ground up. I've been working on it for 10 months now. So the problem is a lot of times people say, "Well, you should try this kind of map." Well, that's cool, but you can't really just snap your fingers and make it happen. Suddenly, you got to build all the shit that goes with it. And so some stuff you can only build. You know, you played with Rust Edit. You can only build out of what Face Punch has in the game already. So some stuff, you know, like I wanted to make an 8-bit map where the whole thing looks like fucking 8-bit Mario Brothers, you know, old school. But then again, working with some of the entities they have in there, it's just not easy to do. It's just not as possible as it sounds. So
yeah, I did a whole Tarkov themed map because that's the only other game that I have 10,000 plus hours in.
Nice.
And I get it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for sure. Make sure you tune in my stream, man. You sound like you're pretty interested in watching some of that stuff. So make sure you tune in.
Yeah, I already gave you a follow, so I'll definitely be watching.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for playing here, man. Glad to have you.
Yeah. Thanks, Jukes.
And thanks for praying for my loss too. Oh.
I count that with the pray for the win, though.
Fuck you. Oh, thanks, Bella. I appreciate it.
Next, we have Bustin. Welcome.
Oh, he's typing it. Hey, T, your view of it is leaving team for Brad not to put your team on cooldown considered an exploit, and is it bannable? Or I had some people say it's not, some it is, just want to know. So if any player finds any action they can take to circumvent a restriction we have put into place for a reason, absolutely, that's an exploit. That's literally the definition of an exploit. We didn't put Bradley timer. That's a custom feature. We paid money to have that feature developed. We did not make Bradley timers, cooldown timers, because it felt good. We did it for a reason, and if people are finding that goes with any restriction, by the way, any restriction. Again, the definition of an exploit, finding a loophole, a misconfiguration, anything that wasn't meant to be, and finding a way around it to your benefit is an exploit. Period. That's the definition of an exploit. So absolutely, that is an exploit. Yes, your entire team is supposed to get the online ones are supposed to get a cooldown when you kill a Bradley or whatever. The reason we purposely coded it to exclude the offline people is because we're trying to be nice. We really didn't want a player to log in and just be like, what the fuck, man? Why do I have a Bradley cooldown? Oh, we just took one about 15 minutes ago. You just weren't online. That's kind of not fair because he wasn't involved. There actually is a timer with that because once we made that feature, we had players that thought they were smarter than us and they would I'm gonna just log out for a second and let them kill the Bradley and log back in. So we put a timer on it, to make sure you were offline for a little while first. But people keep trying to find ways to exploit stuff. Again, if you find a way around a restriction, that is called an exploit. You should report it because yes, it is bannable if you abuse an exploit. Hope that answered your question. Well, if you were told it was not, make sure the person who tells you that has the word admin in front of their name, preferably lead admin in front of their name. And if that's the case, then come to me about it because they're lying to you. Never trust what you hear from just the general populace. Yes, sir. Thank you for your question, though.
All right.
I'm sure others probably wondered the same thing. So
It was asked several times actually in your stream as well.
Was it?
I did answer it, but I told him to listen to you now.
Yeah, it definitely will get you in trouble, and we do watch for stuff like that. Again, you're lucky we're short-staffed right now. I tell a lot of players that right now. Y'all, a lot of things have been happening lately that people are real lucky that we're short-staffed right now. So.
All right, up next we have the Pepsi Man.
I got to pause that real quick. Nothing's going to happen to Zombieland. It's not the job I'm worried about, the mayor thing. It's now that I've gotten really involved and I've seen how the citizens here treat everybody in the government, like they're just fucking mean, dude. They are hateful, spiteful people. That's why I don't want anything to do with it. It's nothing to do with the job. Like I'll have plenty of time for Zombieland stuff. That's no big deal. It's like a part-time position. I'm in a small town.
Were mean.
Yeah, they are. But that's what I'm saying. I already deal with that here. I don't want to deal with it there too. But it's a small town. Like 3,000 people here. It's like a part-time job. It's not that big. No, I'm not a quitter, Sunshine. No, that's not an option. Period. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Pepsi.
Hello, first-time caller, long-time listener. And by long-time listener, I mean about 2 wipes ago.
Big Pepsi drinker here, man. I got you.
Join in. Say Utopia is the fucking place to be. Excuse my French.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, buddy. Been PvPing for 180 of my 300 hours, and the rest of it has been on this server.
Nice.
And something tells me I'm going to double my hour count strictly on the server within the next month. So just admins, keep up the good shit.
I love it, and I love Pepsi. Yeah, I know I'm pissing a lot of Coke drinkers off.
Damn straight. I'm just saying. We have the strongest army in the world for a reason.
Bro, I'm from the north, man. Pepsi's my shit. Yeah, good stuff, man. I appreciate it. That's my favorite part of this meeting is just hearing people enjoy our servers.
Hey, man, honestly, the map design, the people, like, the community on Utopia is just, it makes it all the more enjoyable.
Appreciate it, man.
So many of the people who have already spoken in this meeting, like both admin side and player side, have been involved in my experience on the server, and nothing negative in the slightest has happened. So used to getting raided after just getting established. This has been a refreshing change and just fuck yeah, man.
Or getting teabagged and called the N-word, yeah. Yeah, we've all played Rust.
I'm not allowed to say my bad.
By an 11-year-old.
Yeah, we all definitely played Rust. We definitely feel that shit. Oh god, it's so toxic. Appreciate you, man. That's awesome. Any other question?
Well, yes. How do you apply for the map tester again? Sorry, I was looking in the support page, but I saw admin roles or volunteer roles.
Oh yeah, I explained that wrongly, or incorrectly, like a dumbass. Sorry for map testers. This is for everybody in the channel. For map testers, just you do the staff app like you're applying for staff, but you blatantly put in all caps if you have to, whatever. Just make it real clear. I'm not applying for staff. I just want to be a map tester type. We just didn't make a separate one for it, so we've just been doing it that way.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that answers all of my questions. Thank you guys very much, and great town hall.
Perfect. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
T, I wish he wasn't so friendly. It's gonna make me feel really bad when I have to ban him for being a Pepsi fan.
Dude, Pepsi is awesome.
You
man.
know
Don't-
what? I can be a real asshole if you want. Like, I can turn it right on for
I
you.
will.
Nola,
I will help you fight him.
Let me know.
I will
I
help
might
you.
be Canadian, but boy, we can fucking.
No,
fight.
he's not. He's actually from New
Pepsi
Orleans.
and Canadian. That's my bro right there.
Instant hire.
Damn
Just
straight
put your
there,
app
Trigger.
in. I'll hire you right now for map testing.
Nola's in New Orleans. He's a
Wait, what do I have to do to get hired for map testing right now? Sorry.
drink Pepsi. Pepsi is not
Straight
flat.
up.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Give me
Pepsi
a
has more
second.
carbonation than Coke. Coke tastes like fucking syrup.
Okay. Will Dr. Pepper do? I do not have any Pepsi at the moment.
You know,
Oh, I like
you know
Dr.
what?
Pepper.
You know what? I'll meet you halfway at Dr. Pepper.
Okay, let's move
Okay.
on. We got more
Give
people
me a
waiting.
second.
Move on. Move on. Move on.
No.
All right. Up next, we've got Death Queen.
That's the first. We've never had a soda fight during a staff or during a server meeting.
What's up, Queen?
I was muted. Hello.
Hello.
I just want to say that I appreciated the trolling, first of all. Really appreciated it. Thank you. And I think if you want to make calling the campers not as easy as it is, you could like make people use more scrap to call their campers like less easy than it is now. Or you could build bridges from the main island to the raid base.
But that counts two things though. So point number one
So,
is
because
very
campers
easy.
can go underwater.
Point number one is people can literally throw 20k scrap under the map and not even flinch on our servers because it's so damn easy to get stuff. So that would just negate the entire thing. And point number two is if I built bridges, the whole point was I didn't want people getting their campers over there. So building bridges would make it easier, not harder. So
Or you can like extend the like render distance to call your camper.
yeah, but if I did that, then that would go right back to where we were. They'd be able to pull them across to the island. I don't. So the key is I don't want people getting their campers over there. That's why I want to just remove them from /license in the first place.
Okay.
Cool. Any other question?
No, not really. I really hope you lose your election.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am streaming tonight, by the way, Wingman.
And if I haven't said it enough, I love Outbreak.
Yay!
Love you all.
I'm glad somebody does.
All right, Queen. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you. I do gotta say though, DQ, that's the first time you didn't go, "Hi, T."
Don't, she'll get back in line.
All right. Up next, we have Let's Get Comfy. So like Rust and Chill.
Ooh, I'm coming.
Well, I just wanted to say firsthand, admin group here has been incredibly awesome. I know I just recently joined the server, and within the first few 3 to 4 hours I was playing, I had an admin pop up behind me and just ask me how I was doing. So that's a breath of fresh air for sure.
Wait, what was the name? What was the name? Do you remember?
I honestly don't remember. I didn't write it down.
Did he have a? Did he have a deep, real fucking Southern hillbilly voice?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was really great. Honestly, that interaction alone was like, okay, I'm gonna play here for a while, because I'm so used to other servers. Just a lot of admin abuse happens on these modded type servers. So that was really cool to see. Also, you wanted new player feedback. I love the trivia system in the game. That is chef's kiss. Just being able to ask random questions and first person to answer it right gets a little reward. I love that. That is super cool.
You know what? I gotta toot my own horn. That I actually made that plugin. That's mine.
That alone, I'll just be sitting in my base just waiting for the questions to pop up. That's super fun.
Hell yeah,
so I
I'm
love
glad
that a
you like
lot.
it. I'm glad you like it. I actually have future plans for that too. I'm working on a 2.0 version of it eventually.
Cool, very cool. Also, I totally agree with the camper situation. I would vote option 2 for that. I do agree with blacklisting it, but I know you don't want to remove a vanilla aspect, so that's fine. But yeah, there's no need for it. There's so many other options with vehicles that it's kind of silly to abuse it.
Yeah. And again, with the restriction thing, we try to as much as we can. I know it's not a vanilla server, and people say it's not a vanilla server. Though we try to not mess with vanilla features of the game as much as we can.
Yeah, but honestly, love the backpack, love the bosses, love the custom. Everything has been very cool on the server. The only down thing I've seen, and this is most likely has to do with the entity situation, which I was unaware of, is the lack of nodes. It's pretty hard to find sulfur or stone and stuff just out and about. I feel like I have to get on a mini and like fly around to find stuff.
Somebody want to ban this guy or so?
Yeah, I'm on Outbreak. Yeah.
So for one, you're on the most crowded server we have.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
With people that are literally just zooming around on turbo horses and turbo minicopters, hitting every node they can hit. For some odd reason, they feel like they need 30 billion stone and sulfur. For two, so the average proc gen map, and this is a fact. This isn't like me just guessing because I actually have drummed up a bunch of proc gen maps on our test servers. So there's a command you can type spawn.report in the console if you're a server owner, and it'll tell you everything, every fucking dead log, every mushroom, everything you have. I do spawn.report on a proc gen map. They typically have anywhere between like 150 to 200 nodes. Our maps have anywhere to like 750 to 1,000 something nodes. So they literally are 4 to 5 to 6 times as many as a vanilla map.
Wow.
And I know that for a fact because it's actually, we have a map tester in the channel right now. I think he was AJ, if he's still here. He sees us working on this. He sees us post the node count. Like Nola will post it and say, we have a checklist we go down when we make a new map, right? And node count is one of the things on the checklist because we don't want to hear people complaining about nodes. So we make sure we always have the same amount of nodes on every map. And part of the checklist is the node count. Nola will post the node count if it's too high or too low, and I'll go back and adjust it some more until it's perfect. And like, again, our map tester can actually vouch that that is one of the steps we take in our maps. And they have the same amount of nodes on every single map and 4 to 6 times as many nodes as a proc gen map. Now, don't get wrong. Don't feel bad like I'm picking on you because you are player number 7,452 to say that over the years. But then once you get used to the fact that you're on our most crowded server, which is just getting massively farmed, and B, once you get used to realizing that we actually spread our nodes evenly around the map instead of just putting them at cliffs and rocks like they are on proc gens. So just look around more. I promise you they're out there. Tons of them.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. After you.
I mean, I totally understand. I believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was just letting you know, like from my own personal gameplay in the last few days that I've joined the server. That's been the only issue, and honestly, that's a green flag for me anyway. I mean, there's so many other problems in other servers that if the only thing is I have a hard time finding stone and sulfur, like that, I can live with that. That's fine.
Yeah. Again, you're not even close to the first person to think that, but it's always the new players. And to the guy in chat right now, actually Fable went over our node limit, but that was Aleahnah's map love child that she was working on with me, and I just kind of let her have it because she's really into being open-handed with stuff. So believe it or not, Fable actually had more nodes than all our other maps.
So what I was going to say. Oh my God, Juice.
Juice, yeah, the difference is, Juice, when you greeted him, you didn't have your microphone all the way down your throat.
Yeah, what's going on with your mic, bud?
I was gonna say this time it sounded like it was all the way up his ass.
We gotta buy you a new mic.
It was up yours, Bush.
Anyway, let's get comfy. Welcome to Zombieland. As you can see, we are fucking crazy. But we're glad to have you here, dude.
I have put a ticket in to switch over to infection, so hopefully that'll
perfect.
One less person to fill it up,
Perfect. Thank you. And you'll see more nodes over there, I promise.
I look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
Later, dude.
Bye.
So one thing I tell players a lot, for everybody listening in this evening, there are always the same amount of each type of node on the map.
Yep.
So, you don't have to yell at somebody for hitting a sulfur node and not hitting a stone node. When a stone node or a sulfur node or a metal node gets mined, it pops up elsewhere on the map. They're always on the map, always the same number in exactly the same ratio. All right, up next we have Brewerton Fats.
Fart.
You are currently muted.
We really need our soundbar stuff in here. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, he's typing.
Oh, okay.
Are you able to hear me?
Oh, now we got
There we go.
All right, sorry. Question. So we've got a lot of the random quests, the ones that like ask you to look for like vodka or like the stones off the zombies. Since you're limited to the amount of quests that you can get, I was going to ask if there'd be any chance to change that into like a vending machine situation instead. So when you find those things, rather than having to already have that quest by chance, you can just pick it up and bring it back and like turn it into a vending machine, through for Zeds.
So believe it or not, those quests where you have to find random items, and the same thing with like the Infinity Stones on the zombie hordes. Believe it or not, those quests, and this actually really upsets me, are massively getting exploited by people who like, oh, I found it and I didn't have the quest yet. They're tailored and designed. Their rewards are tailored and designed around the fact that you have to waste a quest slot in your, how many quests you can hold. You have to waste a quest slot on something that is very rare, and actually the harder the quest, the more rare. If you're trying for the purple Infinity Stone quest, those things are super fucking rare. God, let me tell you about that during testing phases, how fun that is. Those are super, super rare, and the rewards are scaled accordingly to the fact that A, how rare they are, and B, that you could be wasting a quest slot for literally the whole wipe, for all we know. That's expected, honestly. Believe it or not, the final stages of those quests, like, I forgot what the last one is for the, like the vodka, glue, and all that shit. Whatever the final stage quest is for that one, I forgot. And then the purple Infinity Stone. Those quests were designed that it could take you the entire wipe and you still may not complete it. That's how difficult we wanted them to be, and we tailored the loot and the rewards to reflect that difficulty, if that makes sense. So they're designed to purposely do exactly what you were saying there, wasting a quest slot and having to carry it with you the whole time, hoping you find one. And they're designed to you never know if you're going to even find one, and you don't know which box is going to contain one, stuff like that. So the TLDR basically is that was on purpose.
All right, I get you. I have a second question too, if that's all right. Somebody had brought up the in-game trivia system. Would there be any opportunity to change that so that it doesn't ask questions that require special characters to answer?
Nope, we get that one all the time too. So the trivia thing, when I first started designing that plugin, I was going to sit there and go around the internet and everywhere I could and just input hundreds of questions and answers into the plugin data file and just let it run from there, right? But after a while, they'd start repeating themselves, which they do anyway, but not as bad. Until I came across an open source database website that actually has tens and tens of thousands of questions and answers that are, think of Wikipedia, they're user submitted. Not a perfect system because users can submit stupid ones that have dumbass special character answers, or they can submit ones that maybe there's an extra white space after the very last word in the sentence. So when you go to type your answer in chat, you type it perfectly and it still doesn't give you credit. Well, that's because the dumbass who submitted the original question and answer to that open source database left an extra white space at the end or something that our plugin is reading as not a perfect match to. You get what I'm saying with that? So no, because having that open source database is a huge, huge fucking bonus because, again, tens of thousands of questions and answers that I don't have to go searching and assembling together. And, even if I did assemble that many together, they'd slowly start repeating themselves more and more often. And yes, I know ours do too sometimes, but it would be a lot more often. Whereas the open source database, there's still to this day people submitting more questions and answers. So tomorrow you could see whole new ones that you never saw before. So it's just a much better system that way. The downside is what you just said, basically. And yes, I know it's a downside, and it's a huge downside. But let's face it, weighing out the lesser of two evils, I think the way we do it right now is probably the lesser of two evils.
All right, I got you.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Up next, we have Peaches. Millions of peaches.
She typed it out.
Peaches, just want to say that you guys did amazing on the maps. I've obviously loved the last couple. The current map is by far my favorite. Can't imagine how long you guys spent on spiders and skulls. Make them another rush. Awesome job, guys. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy it, and wait till you see December. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you really like this whole holiday themed map we got going on, this ain't nothing until you see December stuff. It should be a lot of fun. Lots and lots of fun. Thank you, Peaches. You are awesome too.
Appreciate it. Okay, up next we have Taco Bell Baja Blast, which I would even drink before a Pepsi.
Hey, appreciate it. I don't really have like a question or anything. I just wanted to say the monuments, the red monuments in particular on this map, are some of the coolest ones I've ever seen in all my time playing here. So well done, especially Nola's, St. Nola's.
Hey, I'm glad you like that.
That was a great one.
I was scared people were gonna hate that.
Any credit for that?
Yeah.
Actually, I can't take credit for anything on this map, can I?
No, not really, but I'm glad they liked that one because I was really worried when I was making that if they were gonna fucking.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to give you credit. I was just calling it Nola's, St. Nola's.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
He wishes.
And also just a not very serious suggestion. How about for this force swipe, we just change swap infection and outbreaks names so that all the outbreak people come to infection and swap them back 3 days later.
You know, it's funny you said that because we have actually discussed secretly doing that to y'all behind closed doors. So it's funny you said that. Like we've literally said that before. Like we should just change the fucking names on them one force swipe and they'll never know.
Just wait like 3 days, let people get established, change them back, and then everybody's gonna.
Oh, we weren't even gonna change it back. We weren't even gonna change it back just to fuck with them.
Just randomize the name every month.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
Oh, I did have one quick question though, just curiosity thing mostly. How many nightmare bases are there? How many different nightmare bases? Are there?
Hold on one second. Let me look.
37.
37.
I don't know about that. Zombieland, raid base catalog, nightmare. Oh wow, look at him, 36.
Oh.
Wait. No. I'm sorry. It was sorted the wrong way. It wasn't sorted by name. We're both wrong. 40.
40. Oh, okay.
And that's our least one. If you count, because we got. Well, I can tell you right now how many total. Just search all.json in this folder and how many results do we got there? 597 raid bases total.
Ooh. And that's unique bases. That's not like slight variations on each one.
And none of our bases were like
variations as well.
Yeah, there are some variation ones. Yeah, none of our bases have been like bought and downloaded. You know, they let people out there sell packages and shit. None of our bases have been like that. We've been making these things for many years now. Some of them go back all the way before there was even a raid base plugin when we were just making them and hand doing it all by scratch.
Now, I was just curious because I've been unlucky as fuck. I've gotten the same one 4 times in a row. So I was just curious how many there were.
Well, you got to talk to the developer of that plugin. He's a real just brain dead, and he obviously does not know how to make things shuffle very well.
He's not in here, is he?
Yeah, he is in here. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
And Peaches, we use the build server for that. And I discussed this earlier actually in the meeting. We use the build server for that, or if you build a really cool base just on one of our regular servers, you're more than welcome to invite one of us over, and we will take a copy of it, and we'll take it, and we will revamp it, with traps and stuff like that to make it more raidable type thing. And he was talking about he keeps getting the same raid base over and over again, even though we have like 500 in our catalog. And I said,
I legitimately don't think it's like a bug. I just think I'm just unlucky as fuck.
Yeah, you could just be lucky. But yeah, I was making fun of you, Nivix. Your shuffle algorithm or whatever the hell it is. I don't fucking know. I'm not smart enough to figure that shit out.
My teammates get different ones every time. I get the same one. It's just me.
There's no option to prevent it. Yeah, I guess just shitty dice rolls, basically.
Yep. It's all good. I know how to do that one base really well now.
Cool. Nice.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Have a great evening.
Yep, you too.
All right. Up next, we have Slender.
Hello.
What up?
Howdy.
All right. I'd just like to say, I understand your points on the camper, and I've gone the whole wipe raiding without it. It's not a super huge deal. You can use the sedan and the other things, but I just want to point out that it will cause a higher entity count, because I know personally, and a few other people, we just go to the center of the map to call our raids now, and we build little bases. Personally, I've upped the entity count by maybe 100, 200, just from building new bases with bags and boxes, TC, walls, door, all that good stuff.
There's 2 counters to that. Number 1, we made a huge map mistake on this map to where people could call bases from town, which, if you guys haven't noticed yet, we actually flew out there and started burying TCs under the map to prevent that from being possible now, if anybody's tried to do it and they were told it wouldn't happen. So that was a huge map mistake on our part. We actually purposely make it so that you guys can't do that kind of stuff on maps because that's obnoxious. People calling fucking nightmares right next to town and getting people shot up.
No, I call from the center of the map.
Yeah. Well, that's even worse. That's 000, which is the laggiest part of any map. That's where all the memory leaks go to die. But I mean, ultimately, I mean, people are gonna do that anyway. People are gonna just do that anyway. At least now, there's just one less thing of them, pulling a camper over to the oil rig or leaving them scattered all over raid base islands and stuff like that.
Yes, Juice, I do in fact like butts.
If anything, you building your base like that in the middle of the map, if we have a concern with it, it's easier to get rid of a base that's built than identify whose it is than dealing with the camper.
Yep. And on top of that, honestly, when you build that base, when you do build that base,
I've built 3 extra bases this wipe just because I like to raid.
And when you do build those little raid bases or whatever the hell you want to call it, all you're doing is just taking away a 150 meter range that no more raid bases can spawn right there anymore. So people keep doing that, eventually they won't have any raid bases out there.
Yeah, that's why you spawn the base first.
Yep.
The raid base first, and then you go build the base a decent distance away from it.
And then you won't have a raid there again. That's what I'm saying. As people keep doing that, they're just going to keep taking away spots that you can't have raids anymore. So they'll learn their lesson eventually. It's almost like people could just raid the base without having a base or a camper.
Yeah, backpack,
rocks, trees, all kinds of stuff to hide behind. Or remove the base afterward. That's even another good answer there, Sunshine. Very good one. Anyway, any other questions?
No, that's it.
Awesome.
Just one more thing though about removing the base afterwards. Like, that's just more work for us to do. Like, it's a game, man. We're supposed to be playing and having fun.
That's fine. You're right. So, and then raid bases won't spawn there anymore. And hey, that's more work for us to do, and we won't do it either. And when the server crashes and people lose their shit because there's too many entities, that's more work for us if we were trying to recover them. So we just don't. I feel you. I definitely feel you.
That's all I had to say.
Cool. All right.
Have a good one. All right. We have a couple people hopping back in line. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off after Pepsi Man here. But up next, we have Hydro.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
I just wanted to say about the nodes issue. I don't farm on the server. I think I do the 100K wood quest for the first initial sulfur reward. After that, I don't touch another tree or a node for the rest of the wipe. And you can have plenty of sulfur and everything you need just from raid bases.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And some people have just a total play style where all they do is raid. There's a lot of people out there who don't like raiding. There's a lot of people who just like running around hitting rocks all day, and that's why we design our servers the way we do.
Believe it or not, some of our most veteran players don't farm shit.
I don't farm. I don't like to farm.
You're not even like the probably 15th person I've heard say that, but they're always the veteran ones that have really been here for a while and know what the fuck they're doing. They never farm shit. They just fucking go out and play, and they don't have to.
Same thing with like raid bases. When I do raids, I've never used a camper. What I'll do is if I buy a raid and it doesn't spawn, like if it spawns on Raid Island, then you're kind of screwed because there's no way you can build or do any type of thing other than spawn your car for cover.
Stand back a little further.
Yeah, I stand back as far as I can, or something like that. But when there is a raid on where you can build, all I do is I'll put one foundation, a sleeping bag, no TC, and set a home on the foundation, and you don't have to worry about tearing anything down. It's I mean you should tear it down, but if there's no TC, it's just going to despawn. You could just make it out of twig.
I'd probably go wood because it would last a hair longer, but yeah. I think twig decays like really fast.
Well, if you're in a raid that long, you're doing something wrong.
No, I mean like I think twig is like what, a couple minutes even. Like it's really really fast. I think.
Twig? No, I think twig will stay for a while.
Oh, okay. I could be wrong.
You're just risking twig being shot at by some random flying by.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
An NPC that's shooting at you.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, good points, man. Really good points, all of them. I appreciate it.
So
Definitely.
that's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Cool. Appreciate it. Okay, we got some people cycling back through. Queen, go ahead.
I just want to say that I forgot one very important part of my speech.
I know what this is gonna be. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. If I lose this race, I'm good. So
I hope you do listen.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Queen.
All right, moving on. Next.
Bye.
She is too cute. Too cute. Oh, we got some more Pepsi. Here's another drink for you, Nola.
Hello, long-time listener, second-time caller. Just want to go back to what Slenderman was saying there, or what Slender was saying. Saying not wanting to remove the base, how something like that would be considered not fun. Is there almost like a command or something that we could set up in the TC or a slash command that could destroy a TC and whatever's in that area?
Yep, slash
that way
remove.
it's just a simple command.
Almost like slash remove.
Yeah, slash remove. You can destroy anything.
Well, without having to click all the entities, though. Just a blanket. You destroy the TC and everything disappears with it.
So we used to have slash remove structure, and then somebody found an exploit to remove other people's structures, so we said no. But slash remove and just hit the foundations. The rest will crumble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Also, just saying, Pepsi is superior to Baja Blast. I've got one sitting right in front of me. And yes, we have plenty of Baja Blast in Canada. That includes the weed stuff, and Pepsi is still better. Thank you very much.
God, you guys
had to get that out there.
All right, moving on. I still got to
Thank
show
you.
people. Still got to show people this new feature we have that is coming live on the Force Wipe, and I still have to show them the map too. And sometime at some point, eat dinner tonight.
All right, we are. Man, I hate to cut people off. Let's take care of Nent. We got 2 other people. I'm going to disable other hands raised after after this.
Okay. Yes, the rewards are coming. The rewards come at the end.
Hey guys, good evening. I'll be quick. Appreciate everything you do, of course. Been around for a while myself. I don't want to beat the horse. I know everyone here is kind of beating the horse on the campers. Same as everything else is said. I did the swipe, no camper, did it with a stand, worked pretty fine. Just had one thought after everything that's mentioned, the good, the bad, the in-between. My only thought is that what if the only quarrel I have with any of this overall, because I can fly quick, I can get back to my base. I have U-Haul, I have storage. That's currently just the only issue I've run into, and I feel like some can attest to this. The only real thing I would want to see if we can combat just a little bit, it was mentioned before, is just no one would really need a car, a camper, a horse, a trig, a tree. I just sometimes I feel like the auto turrets have just such an exceptional range on some of the bases. My understanding is that they're tiered a little bit with the monuments. Some of them have higher range. And I did back up really far where I could shoot them, but they couldn't shoot me. But at that point, I can't even see the turrets on some of those bases.
So that's on purpose. That's actually there's no tier or anything. The way the auto turrets work, and actually this is another feature that we got put into Raid Bases plugin from Zombieland. Is the auto turrets, if you shoot them from outside the bubble, they extend their range to shoot you back. Period.
So
that's literally built, like we have that built into the plugin on purpose, because otherwise everybody just stands outside the bubble and just lays waste to every single turret defending the base without taking a single bullet or risk of danger to themselves. So that is on purpose so that you guys can't exploit that and stand outside the bubble and just punch turrets out all day long without getting shot back at.
Sure, and that makes sense to me too, hence why people started using cars, campers, horses, trigs, and trees.
Now, you understand too, I'm not against people using them as cover, by the way.
Yeah.
Totally for that. What I'm against is using them as a mobile base.
I get that too. Which is why I ended up using the sedan, because you could still recall that across the map. It despawns on its own like minis. Excuse me. Well, I guess my point's a little mute then.
I mean, scrap copters work good for that too. They're nice and big, so you got a big cover to duck behind. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that we had to have raid base islands, which are the giant no build flat islands, we only have those because players took up so much of the good land on the main continent that this is years ago, that we had to start putting extra islands that you cannot build on just so raid bases had a guaranteed place to spawn. Believe it or not, remember what I always preach to y'all? Every single restriction we have comes to play because somebody did something somewhere and we had to put that restriction in there. So the raid base islands came about because we had a wipe where raid bases ceased to spawn, period. The entire rest of the wipe, no raid bases, because people literally took up every square inch of decent land on the entire map. And we had to say, okay, from now on, we're going to have to make these big flat islands with no build so that raid bases always have a guaranteed point to spawn. If you find yourself later in a wipe noticing that, damn it, all the raid bases keep spawning on those islands and nowhere else. Well, that's why, because everybody took up all the flat land with their giant Chad compounds, and now we have no more raid base spawns. And the reason I'm even bitching about it is because that's really the problem. Because if it wasn't for raid base islands with a no build around them, you could just deploy a high wall or a barricade and fight your fight. And that's literally how you're supposed to raid a base. Just deploy a high, like you would do a normal raid base, right? When you're raiding on a PvP server, you plop down a high wall or something and you start raiding. That's the problem we're facing here. So believe it or not, it's really not about the vehicles. It's about the players and their builds, because the only reason players meta is to use vehicles is because of the problem I just described. They're having to find other ways to find cover now because they are the reason that they can't put down a high wall as cover, if that makes sense.
Right. You can't do those on the raid island.
Because if you can't build anything.
Right. Okay. Well, I definitely understand your reasonings. I've lived without the camper, and I see more clearly why why the camper thing came into. For me personally, this is just me. It was the cover aspect versus the mobile base, and this is strictly a tie against mobile bases and not as camper cover / mobile base. So I guess that's it. Appreciate you guys' time. You guys are great. Thank you.
Absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, and again, just you can go ahead and remove what he's done, but yeah, just again, land a scrapper there, bring your sedan there. They make great cover too. It's really just about the mobile bases, like you said. All right. Who else we got? Was that the last one?
We've got 2 people. These are the last 2 requests are turned off after this. And if you guys would please be quick. We are trying to move on to the next portion of our meeting.
Hey, what's going on? I just had actually a quick thought that I had written down, but I wasn't near my computer when I asked my questions. So towards the end of wipe, we see a lot of people, spamming nightmares, spamming experts. Everybody's doing all those. Is it possible to almost tier it in the sense of in the beginning we have easy, medium, can only be called? Could we possibly, and I mean, I'm sure you might shoot this down, but make it so that the limits for the experts are a little bit higher, but maybe the natural, easier ones stop spawning towards end of wipe, so there's more of them?
Nope. Requires complete reconfiguration of the plugin by me. What? If anybody was online this morning between 5 and 6 a.m. and noticed that there were no more raid bases except for easies and mediums, that's because I already have 2 times per wipe where I have to manually reconfigure that plugin for what bases can spawn. And that would just be adding more times that I got to do that.
Yeah, it was just a thought. And I was on. I made a ticket about that actually.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Top time played on Outbreak.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could do it that way, but yeah, there's and not only that, but the limits we have on the bigger bases like Experts and Nightmares, they're nothing to do with content. The limits we have on those is because they're so fucking big. It's the entity counts. It's the same. If you ever notice, there's a common theme here with everything we keep restricting and bitching about. It's player entity count. They can't control their entities, and so we have to limit.
I know this sounds horrible, but is there not? And I know we don't suggest plugins, but is there not a way to just hard limit people on that? You're not allowed to have this many entities per TC.
Not without plugins, and we used to do it as a rule that we manually would enforce, and it was miserable. Like we talked about earlier, it's just miserable. It makes nobody happy to get told how to play a game.
No, I know. I was just saying, like, it sucks, but as a I would do it, but I'm kind of a dick, so.
Yeah, me too. I just have to control it here. But yeah, I wish I could,
Fair
man.
enough.
There's just no way I can do it, man.
Nope, just a quick thought. But
Appreciate it.
yeah, lose your election.
I appreciate it, man. Is it me or does he sound like he's from New York?
Yeah, I guess it sounds a little like a northeastern accent.
I like it. I like it. My mother's from Queens, man. That's my shit. New Jersey. Oh, that's even
Oh,
worse. Get the
close
fuck
enough.
out of here. Oh, fuck it. Hoboken
Alright.
ass.
Last up, we got Woe.
So you were saying going over to infection, you'd get 30 days of vet gold. What if I already have, like, I just bought vet gold? Would that be like
just
an
gets
addition
added.
to the time, or would
Yeah,
it just refresh?
Just gets added to it.
Okay.
I literally just edit the expiration date of yours and add 30 days to it.
Okay.
And
Also,
that gets transferred over.
Also, Coke is better than Pepsi. I hope you win the election.
Oh, fuck you. And thank you. Fuck
Well,
you.
T, I'll go pull up his battlemetrics page and ban him.
Nah, because he got the second half right at least.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna move on. This is the part where we're gonna give away the prizes. Those of you that are gonna actually watch the map stream, I have a new feature to show you all. It's going live on Thursday, and you're gonna want to see this because we're those who don't, we're probably gonna get some tickets about it. Anyway, so admins, do you guys got what servers you're going to? I'm already on the test server.
Hey,
I'm
G,
already
do you want
on
me to go ahead and re-enable the warp?
Yeah, I've got a global command to do that, so I don't need you to do anything. It's been sitting in my notepad this whole time.
Globally re-enable that warp.
All right, so the warp I just enabled, by the way, everybody, is the Halloween haunted house contest. There's a new warp available on the servers. Go down there. It's going to be enabled for days, so you don't have to rush down there right this very second. We're still trying to give away the prizes. That's why I was trying to hold off on enabling the warp, so that people didn't get distracted and go run off to that. But yeah, it's gonna be open all the way until PvP day. So feel free to just take your time. You don't have to go right this second. We're about to showcase this new feature and the new map, and we're gonna give out prizes. So, admins, you want to spread out? We need somebody on Terminus.
I'm still on Utopia.
I can jump over to Terminus real quick.
All right, we got Nola on
to
Outbreak.
help you with that thing.
Yeah, we got Twiz on Infection. Triggers on Utopia. So yeah, we just need one of y'all to jump to Terminus. All the players just line up at town. And just line up in front of your admin. Hey, admins, remind me to do the damn... I have a hotkey for you guys to where you can give away these prizes with just the press of a hotkey. I keep forgetting to do it to you, though. I have to do that because I have to configure it for you. So remind me to do that this week. Maybe
Players on infection line up in a straight line in front of either the Zeds sign or the Rockets sign.
Oh, isn't he
Want
fancy?
Rockets, line up in front of the Rockets sign in a straight line. If you want Zeds, line up in front of the Zeds line.
Isn't he fancy? He's got signs and shit over there.
It's
Anyway,
either 50 Rockets or 5,000 Zeds.
there you go. Those are your prizes you can get. Just tell the admin which one you want, or if you're in the fancy server, just line up in front of the sign. The admin will throw the shit at your feet. You're going to town for this. The admin will throw the shit at your feet. When he does, please take the stuff and leave so that they don't get confused. We're old, we're salty, and we're cranky. We get confused. Again, I'm going to put the stream link in the chat here if I can go find it. And I'm about to show you this new feature, and I'm going to show you actually both maps if I got enough interest and people want to see them. This would be Commonwealth and then Aftermath. Let me find my stream link. There's the stream link. Admins giving away prizes. Let me know when you're done. So I can really show them this. I'm gonna hold off on the new feature thing until I hear that you guys are done with the prizes. That way I know people can pay attention.
Yeah, if you get your prize, move on. Bella, did you get your Rockets?
You are talking in Discord.
Yeah, I know. They're not responding in game.
People watching the map stream, like I always do, I'm just gonna kind of fly around lazily while you guys get your prizes, and then I'll show you all the juicy stuff. I just see that lag spike I just got.
Terminus shouldn't take you too long. Anybody on Terminus?
And people that are watching the map stream, I can only see my Twitch stuff right now. I cannot see Discord. So if you're trying to... See, I was looking over at Twitch and look what I did. If you're trying to talk to me, you have to talk to me there because I can't see Discord right now. God, when's the last time you guys saw me actually crash a minicopter? Oh, am I? Do I not do this? I do this every fucking meeting. I forget to switch my stream. Sorry. Y'all should just start telling me that right at the beginning, because you know damn well I'm going to forget every fucking time.
Oh, that was Trigger's job.
Oh, I'm so brain dead, y'all. I tell you what.
What's Trigger's job? What are we talking about?
This mayor thing has been...
To keep his stream straight.
Don't cross the streams. This mayor thing has got me so fucked up. This is why I want to lose so bad. I need my life back. I really do. Oh god, I'm getting vertigo. It's dark in here. I can't see. Yo, that was pretty legit, wasn't it?
Alright, last call on Utopia.
People are super organized on infection.
On Terminus.
And by organized, I mean not at all.
Welcome to infection.
Yeah,
Bussy, step up.
just mad. You can't spawn NPCs in under terrain like that. That's just the way Rust works. It's nothing to do with our plugin. There's nothing we can do about that. That plugin has to look for valid nav mesh spawn points, and there is no nav mesh under the terrain, so they will not spawn down there. We can only work with what we're given, sadly. Yeah, I love it too. You know what's funny is we did it like a year ago, and everybody complained and got all salty, like it's too hard. So we disabled that feature, and finally, like 6 months ago or so, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's put it back. That's so cool. Yep, just waiting on Outbreak and Infection to finish getting their prizes, and I'll show you guys the new feature and show you some of the juicy parts of... Hell, I'll show you both maps if you guys got time for it. I don't mind. But I'll make sure I get the juicy new feature out of the way first, because some of y'all ain't gonna like that shit. Some of y'all that are gangsta and don't mind a little challenge are gonna like it, but some people are not gonna like that new feature.
All right, Outbreak is done.
Taco, did you get your rockets?
If anybody's watching my stream, you come to these blimp custom build spots. They are 2 separate build spots. 1 and 2. They're not just one giant one. Sure, we'll get some tickets about that too, even though there's 2 signs out front.
Test 2 if you want to do anything.
Oh, you're on test 2? Yeah, I'll torture you here in a second. Let me wait till everybody's done getting their prizes.
All right, last call on
He
infection.
abused me yesterday.
Nivix, if you're still in here, DM me the cargo 15 and whatever command again. I'm gonna torture Cryo here in a second on the test server. I can't remember what they were, and I don't want to scroll and put them in open chat. If you're still in here. Yeah, Rocket, you've been around long enough to see all kinds of old shit we've been through in the past, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Do you remember like 3 years ago, Facepunch did an update, a force wipe, where crossing the threshold into a cave So basically anything you crossed to go through the terrain, you know, caves, tunnels, whatever. Any kind of threshold crossed through a terrain would just kill you. It would just flat out fucking kill you. Like even vanilla caves. It was not like it was a custom map thing. It was just anytime you crossed through the terrain, you just fucking die.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we don't give the prizes to others. If you can't make it, you just don't get your prize, I guess. So yeah, we don't just give it to other people.
Infection is done.
All right, so Outbreak is the only one left.
Outbreak's done.
Outbreak's done. Cool. All right. Well, let's go show you guys
Utopia's
Huh?
I said Utopia's done.
Okay, so everybody's done. We'll go show you guys a new feature real quick. Let me go land. Let me go land in front of the Derposaur. Yes, I said Derposaur. I'll go land over here and show you guys the new feature that you're not gonna like, and then I will show you some of the map stuff. No, it's a Derposaur, because he looks like this. Derp. Look at him. Derp. Actually, Cryo, you are still in here, aren't you? Yes, you're in the test server? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay, do me a favor, teleport to me.
I'm at your minicopter. Did you jump out of it?
No, I'm just floating right now. Are you here? Oh, there you are. Do me a favor, this base right next to you, auth on that TC so that this is your base. That's all you need to do. Just auth on that TC. And then just go back into Vanish. Alright, so players. Hope everybody's in the stream. This is going to be the part where you see the new feature. I'm looking for something. Okay, cool. So this is my little base. Right? See? This is my base. Building privilege. Yeah, I just spawned a raid base to use as a base because I didn't feel like building one. You are correct. Hey, Wookie. We may have to go back to River Bradley's again.
Okay.
Gotta remember what I have the timer set to. So I have it set to a pretty slow timer so that it doesn't just keep drilling you.
I was about to say, that thing HV at you?
It may have.
I definitely saw something like that from here.
I'm gonna have to check the timer. I think I have it set too long. It should have shot another one by now. I have to check
It
with
shot
Nivix.
2 so far.
Oh, did it? Okay.
You can't use someone else's base as cover, right?
That's why I had crowd just authorized on that base. I was about to show them that. Trying to figure out why he hadn't shot another one yet. I thought the timer was quicker than that.
It's because you're hiding behind the door. That's why he's not shooting.
There it is. Damn, he took my foundation and everything on that one. Holy shit, and some of the walls on the front.
Wait, so Bradley's will now break your own base?
Yep. So I said we need River Bradleys again.
River Bradleys are back.
Look.
Oh,
So
hell yes.
I can configure the damage. Right now I have it configured where one hit almost takes out a full stone wall. If you got metal, it's not going to take out, it's going to take a couple hits. So, I mean, it's really not meant as to be like a, oh, it's going to level your base and punish you. It's really meant to be a, hey, stop building fucking bases to fight Bradleys from. They're already easy enough. That's really what it's meant for. But, yeah.
Alright, sorry guys, I gotta bail out.
You're good. So now I'm going to go over to Cryo's base, right? So, Cryo, you got to get out of here. That's why I wanted you to vanish, because he will attack if you're here. So right now I'm building blocked, as you can see. I'm going to have the Bradley come up this way now.
Say that again? If he's there and he's off, and you're there and you're not off.
Well, no, if he was out of vantage, though. If the Bradley saw him, it would shoot at him. It'll shoot him if he's off on the base, it'll shoot at him.
Well, I mean, if he's inside the base just chilling.
Yeah, then it shouldn't shoot, because I'm the one, whoever aggroes it. The person it's aggroed to has to be off. See, now notice it's not shooting one at me now, because I'm hiding behind Cryo's base. We didn't want people to be able to grief other players like this, so we have it set to, if you're not on the TC, it won't do it. And we also, anyway, so you guys get the drift of it. Wasting more time. Again, yeah, I'm sure players are going to find some stupid ass way to exploit it. Whatever, that's fine. It's not meant to be like a, oh, I'm going to level your base situation. It's just meant to be a quit cheesing Bradleys. They're already fucking easy enough. We also, this is a complete revamp of this Bradley plugin. The AI should be improved a little bit now. I don't play enough to let you know if it's any better than the new AI for the vanilla launch Bradley, but it should be improved. Should be a little harder now. But this feature right here, we can thank Nivix here in the channel for getting this implemented, where he will shoot a rocket at your base. It is configurable. If I feel the time is too short or too long, or the damage is too little, we may increase it. We may decrease it if it's too punishing. Whatever. It does not attack sleepers, you know, so it's not gonna come. It's not gonna come drive by the base and just fucking wreck your base while you're logged out. It's one of those things. If you aggro think about zombie hordes. Technically the same thing. If you aggro the Bradley and you try to hide inside your base to fight him, he's going to blow your shit up, just like a horde would. So that's the new feature. Again, like I said, we'll probably get lots of tickets about that one, but whatever. Now he only shoots if he loses sight of you, and you are on the TC or in building privilege range. Yeah, if you take it in the open, it's not going to shoot a rocket at you. Yeah, it's only if you're hiding behind like a base that you have TC on. So yeah, I mean, like most like people with half a testicle just, you know, hide behind a rock, stand over a hill, hell, stand in the middle of the damn road and just sidestep to take a Bradley. But some people for some reason like to build big ass bases along the road to fight Bradleys from, which is completely unnecessary.
I'm in a big open area if you want.
And then we get 300,000, you know, entity wipes like this. Anyway, so here's back to the map tour, though. I'm sure everybody can kind of figure out the theme to this map. I'm in Vanish, that's why nothing's attacking me right now.
T, when you get a moment, need you to restart support bot.
Is he dead?
Players are getting responses and being able to answer questions, but we're not getting an open ticket on our end. Just did a
on a staff application.
Yeah, just did a staff app test.
Yep, I see some errors. Missing permissions, blah blah blah, ticket module, Discord, da da da. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Yeah, it's gonna be a minute because there's something wrong, so I'm gonna have to fix it. It's gonna be a minute. dark in here. I'm guessing people have played Fallout before and understand the theme of this map.
What's Fallout?
Huh? Nola, was that the first staff app that came in that did that, or was there other ones? I'm trying to figure out if that's what caused it. Like, is that where I need to look?
It might be other ones, T. The only reason why I knew that staff app came in and that we were having an error is because I was having dialogue with him in DMs, and he said he put his app in, and then it just never came through. So I don't know how many we've missed. I don't know how
Yeah.
long it's been broken.
I can see a couple here of these errors. Well, they
Because
start.
on their end, it looks like it was received. Like that player got a message saying that it had been received, but clearly it wasn't.
Looks like the first error for this was at 9:29 p.m.
Perfect spot to stop.
Oh. Sorry, I'm looking at the errors back here for the support. I'm probably gonna have to just cut this short and try to fix this. Problem is, I don't know what the hell the problem is. Let me look. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut the map tour short, I guess. At least you got to see the Bradley shooting rockets at your base.
What about those abilities?
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna be able to. I gotta fix our support bot. I have to. I'll just show them off next time or something, I guess. Hi, I gotta cut the stream. Thanks for coming to the meeting. Blah blah blah. I gotta go fix the support bot now. If you guys did put an app in, I'll make an announcement in just a second when I get this working, and then that way people know to put one in again if it didn't work. So thank you for coming. See y'all later. I'm gonna end the meeting if I can find the damn channel.